Hello and welcome back to IndieCon 2021. We are here tonight. We're gonna play some TTRPG. We're gonna play Legends of Avallen. We have Darren here,
Hello.
who is the creator of the game, as some of you may already know. And we have Mod B,
Hey.
and we have Mod Nessa.
Hello.
All right, so we're gonna jump right into it. None of us have played this game before, so it's gonna be really interesting.
Yeah, that's right. Cool. So Legends of Avallen is a indie tabletop role-playing game about humble village folk rising up to become legends in a mythical island inspired by Celtic mythology and Roman-occupied Britain. So there's a clash of cultures here. There's a clash of worlds as well between the mortal world and the other world. But you're just regular people who, for some reason, want to make something more of yourselves. You want to be something bigger. You want your names to be rung out through the generations. But at the beginning of the game, you just have a job. You're just some person, and that's where we're going to begin.
Cool.
So
Being
I'm going to
person.
say that again.
Being some person. That's fun.
Yeah. So I'm going to read a little description to let you know what this quest is going to be about, and then we're going to make your characters. Okay.
Okay.
So you're humble village folk who live in a small village called McKenney in the hills of the Borderlands. The Borderlands is an area in the middle of Avallen that is not claimed by any of the three major clans that surround it. Twice a year, a scribe named Halen and your greatest warrior, Seren, leave the village to tend to a sacred sealing stone. The sealing stone protects your community from the darkness within the cave it sits before. Halen tends to it by repainting the magical sigils on the stone that fade in the weather. However, this summer's solstice, he and Seren did not return from their task. The Keiduad of your village, which is your leader, is an older lady named Branwen. She has asked for volunteers to go with her looking for Halen and Seren, as well as to ensure that the sealing stone has been repainted. Most folk prefer to keep to what they know, but not you. For reasons of your own, you are keen for adventure and eagerly put yourself forward for the quest. And now we're going to make your characters. So you can all see your character sheet. Don't mind all the details and everything that's on there. We don't need to worry about it for now. It'll be introduced as we go. We do have real character sheets that are being made and put into editable PDFs, but that hasn't happened yet. The game isn't quite released yet, so we're working with these Google documents. But that does mean that I can see what you can see, and I can help you out if there are mistakes or any troubles. So the first thing we're going to do is, well, there's three things we need to make your character. Is you choose a starting profession, which is your job, how you make your way in this village. Then we choose your attributes. Then we choose your personal aspects, which is your personality. And then finally, your name and appearance. So the first thing we're going to choose is a profession. Don't worry about what the professions do, what their abilities are. Just pick based on what appeals to you from their name. Because we don't have time to go through everything right now. So there is an alchemist, a bard, a crafter, a merchant, priest, a scavenger, a scribe, a socialite, a tamer, and a thief. First come, first served.
I'll take socialite.
Nessa with the socialite. Cool. And I'm going to put that on your character sheet for you. Nessa,
Thank you.
socialite. Control C and Control V. Now you should see next to your character section, there should be your socialite there. You can read your ability now if you want to. You start with the first ability. You probably won't know what it means exactly, but that's okay. How about you, Mounby?
Oh, I'm gonna let B pick first.
I'll be an alchemist.
Alchemist, done, sold. Be the alchemist. Cool. Okay, and Mal, do you want me to read them again, or do you have something in mind?
Oh, I want the bard.
Bard. Cool. I want the bard.
I was like, I was smart last time. I'll be an alchemist.
I was waiting. I was actually waiting because I knew it's like me and B love bards as a class, and so I was like, oh well, I'll let B pick first in case she wants the bard.
Right, right.
Uh,
Okay, great. Next, we need to just go through your um, inventory quickly so you know what's going on. So, your profession is how you get by in the world. You have your first ability unlocked as like your apprentice ability. You're not the most epic bard, you're not the most epic alchemist or socialite, uh, but this is how you get by at the moment. And to use your profession school abilities, you need a profession kit. So if you look in your character sheet, there's like an inventory section, and I've already put in there a profession kit on your hip that you keep with you at all times. If you want to, you can change that to the name of your profession. So Bard's kit, Alchemist kit, and Socialite's kit, but you don't need to. You just need to know that you need that to use your profession. Um, Below your profession kit, you'll see that you have supply, and you'll have 4 boxes that are checked. You should have 4 boxes that are checked. You often need supply to use your profession abilities, and you also need supply to rest and to eat food. Supply is a catch-all resource, basically. And then underneath that, you have your coins. You should have 10 coppers and 1 silvers, or 1 silver. Cool. Next, we will do your attributes. So there are 4 attributes in this game. There is vigor, which represents your physical strength and endurance. There is spirit, which represents your mental strength and endurance. There is agility, which represents your physical speed and finesse. And there is wit, which represents your mental speed and finesse. Your ranks start at 0, which is average for an average village folk. You get to increase 1 to 1, and you must decrease another 1 to -1. If you're not sure what to pick, you might see that your profession ability has 1 or 2 abilities that you can use it for, so you might want to pick one of those.
ah, yeah. Hmm.
And please let me know if you have questions or if there's something you're not following. I assume the silence means you're thinking intently about what attributes to
I'm
choose,
I'm
not.
I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm actually writing stuff down just so I know.
Cool.
So you expend 1 supply to get the attribute?
No. Don't worry about that. The supply is something that happens in play later in the game. You need that for using your abilities and for eating, but now we're just making your character and choosing your attributes. There's no costs here. You just increase 1 of your attributes to 1, and you must decrease another 1 to -1. That's just a permanent thing that's happening now.
Okay.
I'm just trying to look where it says that I do that.
Oh, I see. So, Nessa, if you look on your character sheet, I believe your name section, there's the attribute section there. You'll see vigor, agility, spirit, and wit. Can you see that? I'll actually highlight it for you.
Right there. Oh God, thank
Yeah.
you.
Sorry, I should have said. Actually, I should have also asked as well, what's your experience with role-playing games before we started? Do I know what level you're at approximately? Have you all played a role-playing game before?
I have been playing D&D since I was 13.
Okay, cool. Have you played other games?
Mm. I've played some Pathfinder. I've played the really old Star Wars TTRPG. I've played in and run a few systemless scenarios.
Hmm.
So like not a whole range of stuff. Oh, I've played some Dark Heresy as well.
Okay, cool. And how about
Yes.
you, BML?
Oh yeah, and Call of Cthulhu.
Awesome.
I played one yesterday. That was fun.
And is that your first time?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, awesome, great. You're perfect. You're my favorite kind of player. You're
Yay!
Oh, I'm
you're
in
a
the
newbie.
doghouse.
Yeah. Okay. And Mal yourself? Sorry, not Mal. Nessa.
I've been my first game Death Watch for 2 years now,
Hmm.
and like random D&D. Oh no, oh God, I can't remember the name of the game now. D&D. I've played for like 6 months now, and there's another game I can't remember for some reason. but I'm fairly a beginner, I would say.
Okay, cool. So we are going to do this quick. So you can all see your attributes in the middle of your character sheet, yeah?
Yes.
Yes, now I can.
Yes. Yeah. I want you each to choose one and change the 0 to 1 instead. And then, for example, Mal, I recommend you choose agility or wit because your bard performance uses agility or wit.
Yes.
B, I recommend you choose wit or vigor because you can either concoct alchemy smartly or you can just kind of test on yourself and use your vigor to figure out what works. Um, and then Nessa, I recommend you choose spirit because that is where your
Okay.
charm comes from. Although you can choose wit if you want to. You don't have to go with your profession.
I'll go with spirit.
Okay, cool. So then change that to 1, and then you need to pick another one and put that as -1. Any other one that you like. How you doing, Mal?
I'm doing okay. Oh, I have a little
Oh,
Word
did you make?
document. I'm just writing stuff down.
Oh, okay, okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay. I can see your character sheet, so I can see that you haven't changed one of the attributes yet. So I was wondering if you are
Okay.
you doing your character sheet on your Word document instead? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I okay, there we go. There.
Yeah.
I've changed it so you can see
Cool,
what's going
great.
on.
Yeah, it just means that I can see what's going on as well.
Yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely.
okay, cool. We're all good, great. Okay, next we're going to choose your personality. So on the left of your attributes there, you'll see you have motivations, flaws, and virtues. You have to pick one motivation, one virtue, and one flaw. Your motivation is why you want to go out into the world and make a name for yourself, essentially. Um, your virtue is something you aspire to, and your flaw is something that occasionally sets you back. Um, you there is one rule in that you cannot pick a flaw that is associated with your virtue. That means in the same line as. So if you look at the first virtue, which is valiant, you'll see next to it there is timid and reckless. If you're valiant, you can't be timid, or you can't be reckless, but you can pick another flaw instead.
Right, so like the Sims kind of thing.
Yes, yes. Uh, this is actually based off Aristotle's golden mean, which is an old school Greek philosophy where the idea is if you anything in too much is a flaw, anything in too little is also a flaw, and you want to be in the golden mean in the middle. So if you have no valiance, then you're timid, and if you're too valiant, you're reckless, and you want to be just right.
Yeah. I didn't know Aristotle made the Sims.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so
Yeah, you on?
it's 2 flaws and 1 virtue, right? Because that's what I'm seeing
Just
here.
one flaw, one virtue, and one motivation.
Okay, because on my end it says flaw, virtue, flaw.
Yeah. There's a bunch more flaws than there are virtues.
Yeah, the
You just need to pick.
motivations are above those.
Yeah, that's
Got
correct.
it, got it, got it. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
I would just put those on bold to show that
Yeah, make
yourself.
them bold, or if you want to tell me what they are, what you've chosen, I can fill them into a color for you to make it easier. It's up to you. But yeah, you can just click on them and press Control B to make them bold if you want to. And so these come into play when they're obviously a guide for your character. They also come into play when you're having conversations and having parlays with NPCs. You can invoke your aspects, your personality, to gain advantages. If you're just and you make a point that's quite just and act on that, then you gain advantages through that. Later, further in the game, you gain bonuses to actions that act in your accordance as well. But we're not quite there yet. So I see. I won't tell everyone what your abilities are. I'll just highlight them for my own sake. Okay. And Nessa, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just picking my virtue and flaw.
Okay, cool. Great. And then after that, we just need names. And if you need help with names, I have a bunch lying around. Or if you have a name you'd like to go for, then that's cool. Just put it in the box above.
I just need to highlight because you say you're going to highlight if we tell you.
Yeah, if you click on the box that you've chosen for one, just press Control B, and then it will make it bold, and then I can highlight it for you. Yeah, cool. Nice. Cool. Okay, you're good. And then Mal. Oh, I highlighted the wrong box.
I'm trying to pick my second floor.
Oh, you only need to pick one floor. You're okay.
Just one. Just one.
Just one. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And then you need one motivation as well.
Oh yes, that's right.
Cool. We have a variety of characters. This is good. Okay, great. Cool. And we have Nessa needs a name. Do you need help with names or are you good?
I got it.
You got it? Cool. Oh, wow. Yeah, you got a name. You know what you're doing. Cool. Okay, great. We have our characters. And you got a name, but also think about what your character looks like as well, because we're going to introduce them to each other shortly. Okay? So, with the sun rising over the McKenney village's dry, grassy hillside, you make your way out of the village to meet Cadward Branwyn. You assemble outside of earshot from the roundhouses of the village. The other village folk bid you safe travels and away from where they are. They're about to go tend the livestock, the farmlands, and gather water. And Cadward Branwyn is already there, sitting atop a cart with a horse next to it that you know is called Thistle. Cadward Branwyn is a short and round elderly woman whose silver hair marks her as the wisest amongst the McKenney village. She is draped in layers of blue, red, and green linens, with necklaces of woven grasses adorned with all kinds of smooth stones. If you've been in this village since you were born, then you would have known Branwyn all of your life. If you're a recent newcomer, maybe you stayed for a little bit, then you will know her as the leader of the village. As you come towards her, she kind of gives you a small wave. And then I want you all to introduce your characters to each other so that we know who we're dealing with. B, do you want to go first?
No, hold us. I gotta think of what he's like.
Shall I move on to someone else then? Is anyone really sure who their character is?
I'll let Nessa
Go
go
ahead
first.
now.
No.
Okay, I'll go first. Charlotte's blonde, green eyes.
So, what's your character's name? Sorry,
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Yes. Medium height. I want to say 5. Let's put it 5'4". Blonde hair, green eyes. She's got medium. Has anyone seen Shira? She's lean, but she's got some muscle to her.
Cool.
Yeah.
She's not. I don't know in your world if there's wealthy, medium wealthy, or like how that works, but I imagine
Yep.
she would have some sort of adornment.
Yep.
Because she's a socialite, she likes to move around in certain circles, so it would show.
Yeah. That's really cool. It probably means you're born of a family in the village who's had a higher standing for a few generations now,
Right.
and you might aspire to move on to bigger places, or maybe one day be the elder of this place. It's up to you.
Yeah. So
Cool.
that background, yes.
Yeah. Okay. And Mal?
Yeah, so my character Varys is tall, willowy. He's got light brown skin, dark freckles, straight dark brown hair that reaches to just below his shoulders, and hazel eyes. He's dressed fairly modestly.
And what does he do in the village?
Well, he's the bard, isn't he?
He's the bard, isn't he? Yes. Cool. Storyteller, keeper of histories.
Yeah.
Cool. And B?
Okay, So my character's name is Riz.
Riss.
Uh, she's just a 5'6" black girl with big round glasses. Um, she has rainbow hair because of potion making, and it kind of
Yep.
did some things. Um, I also have it that she lives in a little shack or
Yep.
cabin by herself because the villagers got a little angry last time she burned down a home, so they just had her step back.
Cool. Got it. So you're known to cause a little bit of mischief sometimes. Maybe not on purpose, but awesome. Okay, great. So we have Charlotte, Riss, and Varys. Branwyn acknowledges you all. Says, thank you for joining me on this quest. We have a very important and honorable task. We're going to travel down the valley and look for Halin and Seren, and then check on the sealing stone. Do you have any questions before we depart?
No.
Well, I turn to Brenwyn and I ask, do we have any reason to suspect that there might be any dangers down there?
She says, yes, there may be. Seren is a great warrior, and Halin knows some magic. And the fact that they've been gone for a week is a bit concerning.
All right. Well,
Cool.
I square my shoulders a little bit. I don't look super happy about the prospect of going into danger, but I'm here.
Right. Yeah.
Character looks incredibly curious, so she prefers to listen and see what's going on.
Okay, great. So to kind of alleviate your concerns, at least somewhat, I don't know, maybe it'll make it worse. Branwyn kind of reaches out and steps down from the cart, and at the side of the cart, there's a bunch of armor and axes and shields. And she hands a set of each to all of you.
This is heavy.
The armors are made of hide, and it's a simple axe and a simple round shield. And she asks you to put these on just in case.
All right.
I'm going to flip the axe.
I've already added them to your character sheet. You'll see them in your inventory. Okay.
I see it.
Cool.
Okay.
And we'll get to how they work and how you use them if you need them.
All right. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, I acquiesce and I don the armor and attach the axe to my side and pick up the shield.
Nice.
I
then,
look at
I try to pick up the shield and it falls because I couldn't carry it right.
Branwyn steps over and says, do you need some help with that?
No, I got this. I got this.
Uh-huh. Branwyn then gets back into the cart and gets this all ready to make a move. There's room in the cart for one more. The other two of you will have to walk.
Me first. I run towards it.
Well,
I kind of huff, but I let her, since she called it first, I'll walk. So I can get from the axe.
Yeah, I sigh as well, just resigned to walking.
resigned to walk in, yeah. Cool. And you make your way. During a morning of easy travel, Katewood Branwyn asks you all, again, thanks you for coming to help her. And then she turns to B and says, I know sometimes we may get a bit chide with you. Sorry, not B, Riss. We may get a bit chide with you, but we do appreciate the concoctions that you make for the village. There's no one else here that can do it. And so we appreciate you having around.
Riz smiles really wide.
And so I have to ask then, why would you why did you volunteer to come on this quest with me?
Of course I did, because we need help.
And she smiles at that response. And Charlotte,
Yes.
you haven't been known for getting your hands so dirty. What brings you along with the ride?
My family has been part of this village for many generations. If there's trouble, it is our duty to help.
Cool. She nods in acknowledgement of you doing your duty for your family. And sorry, not Riss, Mal, I have to assume you're here to Varys. Sorry, I'm moving the character sheets into order that I can see you in Discord. So I
don't you
don't get
worry.
confused. Yeah, Varys, I have to assume you're here to record what happens for the history of our village.
I nod. That's exactly correct. Obviously, I will lend a hand if anything goes down, but I'm mainly here for that.
Wonderful. As you're talking, you come around a winding turn. You're on a cart that goes through down a valley essentially, and there are hills either side of the path that are somewhat rocky, and there's an occasional tree that kind of shades the path a bit. And as you round this turn, you find that the path has been blocked by a fallen tree. Cadewid Branwyn pulls Thistle to a stop. You can see that the green-leafed spruce tree has fallen from the hillside onto the path. The trunk's not too thick, but it hangs a meter off the ground, wedged between the rocky hills on either side, and it's clearly not possible to drive the car elsewhere. Branwyn asks you if you'll be able to clear the tree. She's going to tend to Thistle for a bit.
I go, and I tend to the tree.
Cool.
I go off as well to help out.
And I hop off to be of some type of help. But I trip.
So you trip. Oh, you're that character. Cool. Got
trying
it.
her best.
Trying her best. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you all just approach the tree.
Yes.
Yes. Wonderful. Do you get close so you can examine it, or are you just walking up to it so you can lift it or something?
Well, I was going to examine it to see if it would be easier if we chopped it in half or something and then moved it.
Okay. And Nessa and B?
I would want to examine it to see if it fell off of natural reasons, or did someone chop it off to block the road?
Mm-hmm.
Since we're already going on a dangerous mission, possibly.
Okay. And B?
I say I'm going to also examine it. Don't know if maybe there's some tracks near it or something.
Sorry, what did you say? You wanted to do what?
I'm going to examine the tree as well.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if there's claw marks or something like that on it.
Okay, got it. So, Varys, you approach the middle of the tree, and it's not so thick. You see that you could hack through it with your axe, but that would take some time. That's something you could definitely do if you weren't in a rush. Charlotte and sorry, I did say Varys, didn't I? Charlotte and Riss, you approach where the tree fell down, and your suspicions are correct. It's clear the tree's kind of wedged into the side of the hill a bit as it fell, and you can see that it's not attached to its roots, and it's got clear hack marks into the bottom and the base of the tree. Riss, as an alchemist, you're somewhat familiar with with what it is you're seeing. You see that the tree seems somewhat decayed at the base, like something's been put on it to eat away at it or something like that. That looks strange to you.
I speak up and I say, keep your wits about you. They know we're coming. And I indicate to the clear marks of it being cut.
Yeah.
I tell them how I noticed that on the base of the tree it looks like it's been eaten away by something strange.
I walk over to them to have a look as well.
And Verisia, you just see what they see. The tree's clearly been hacked down. And when Riss points it out to you guys, you also see clearly that there's something that's kind of harmed the tree in some way that wasn't related to the hacks that cut it down.
Well, now that we know this, let's start clearing the tree out so we can keep going.
Good idea.
Cool. And how are you going to do that?
You said it wasn't particularly thick, so well, I mean, that's relative, obviously.
Mhm.
But how heavy would you say it is?
Looking at it, some of you together could probably try and lift it. Yeah.
All right. Well,
So we'll lift it then.
yeah, I go back up to grab it by the branches.
Mhm. Is anyone helping Varys?
Yeah,
I try to help.
Say again, B, sorry? Varys?
I try to help.
And Charlotte?
I put myself in position so that the three of us can lift it out of the way.
Okay, so you're all helping to lift it. So I'll tell you at least partly how the game works now. So when someone makes a check, if you look at your attributes, you'll see that there's a suit for each of them. Vigor is for hearts, agility is for diamonds, spirits is for spades, and wits is for clubs. And when you make a check, you're obviously hoping for that suit, but really you're hoping for the same color. That's the best. So number cards are worth 1. They add 1 to your attribute, whereas court, picture cards, and aces add 2 if they're the same color. And if they're the same suit, then they add double that. So 2 and 4. Whereas if they're the opposite color, then they subtract instead. And we'll come to that if that happens. And to succeed, you're just hoping to beat the check difficulty. And the check difficulty for this is 1, so you're hoping for a 2 or more. Now, how teamwork works in this game is when another player helps you, you turn over more than 1 card. And for each character that helps you in a different way, you turn over another card. So right now we have 1 character trying to lift it, another person trying to help them lift it. That will give them an advantage. And we have a 3rd character also trying to help them lift it. That doesn't help out any further. So if you could think of another way to help out, then you'd get even more advantages.
That's a good question. How could you help out otherwise in the moving of a tree?
Possibly keeping lookout?
I guess I should be more specific. So it's just you're also trying to help out by lifting it in the same way, by standing under it and trying to lift it. If you could think of another way to try and budget, that would help out in a different way, even though you're still just trying to budget.
Well, the way that I'm standing is that I'm by, the top of the tree, and I've grabbed it by the branches to sort of try to like drag it with me.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes it worse.
No, I would say make it better. This is all about trying to think of different things, solving things in creative ways. So sure, using the branches will help you. Let's say that. Who is the strongest amongst you? Who has the highest vigor?
My vigor is the weakest.
I have 1.
Riss has a +1 vigor, so we'll have Riss make the check then. And then so Riss, so don't turn over the cards, just take them one by one. So take 1 card from the deck and place it in the place space. Just drag it out.
So put it where?
Just put it in the gray area. Yeah, that's perfect. And that's for you doing the check as normal. Then take another card for Mal grabbing the branches and trying to lift it in Mal's way. and then another card for Charlotte using brute force to lift it. And then you get to turn over all of them, and then we take the best one from among them. And we're hoping for red cards with hearts being even better. And you flip them by clicking on them. Great.
Wow. That
So we do terrible. So that's all right. We get to learn some things. So the best card from among them there is the picture cards are worth the most, and then if they're the wrong color, then they're worth the least for you. So the best card here is actually, well, I can tell you even more now. So if you look at your attributes as well, as I said earlier, vigor is your physical strength and endurance, whereas spirit is your mental strength and endurance. So we say that they're related somehow. And then agility is also physical, so they're also related. But wit has nothing to do with vigor whatsoever. It is the opposite, and you'll see that it's diagonal from it on your character sheet. And also, spirit is the opposite of agility, and vice versa. So they're the worst possible suit that you can pull in this situation, and they are worth double in the wrong way, if that makes sense. So this is a -2. So with your +1, -2, we have a -1. That is a failure, I'm afraid. Now, when we fail in this game, we have two choices. You can accept your failure and gain an edge, which is like a little bit of momentum and a little bit of help in the situation, or you can exert yourself. And when you exert yourself, you change the failure into a success, but then you can't do it again until you take a rest later on, basically. So it's like a one-time thing. You get to use it whenever you like. So I have to ask you now, do you want to fail or do you want to exert yourself and shift this tree?
Oh man, that's a good question because we might want to use this for later, depending on what we're going to be up against.
Yeah, but it's just B that will be exerting themselves. The rest of you two are okay.
Well, I already know these two will be pretty reliable if anything bad happens, so I'll go ahead and exert myself.
Okay, cool. So on your character sheet, on the right of your attributes, you'll see there's a bunch of conditions. And the top one is called exerted. There's a checkbox next to it. If you click that, then it will mark it as being exerted.
And there you go. Oh, cool.
Yeah, good. Yep. And that just means you can't do that again until you take a short rest. And to take a short rest, we take like a little 10-minute break and you consume a supply. You eat some food, chill out, relax, spend some time with your companions, and then you clear that. And then you can do it again later on.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So you failed, but we succeeded by pushing yourself a little bit further. So you guys really go at it, and Riss pulls through, flexes some kind of alchemy muscles that she has, and you guys shift the tree and then move it to one side and make enough space for the cart to pull through.
well done.
Yay.
Branwyn pulls up with
I
Thistle. Say again.
I think I pulled a muscle, guys. I don't think I'm going to be later.
Well, back in the cart with you. Try to relax a bit.
That's exactly right. Cool. We just pull out wrists when we need something moved, stick them back in the cart. Cool. So Branwyn pulls up with Thistle and commends you, Riss. Say you're stronger than you look, you know.
Thanks. I get it from my mom's side.
Nice. And yep, you can sit back in the cart and then you make your way on. Where are we at? We're here. Cool. A few afternoon hours pass without incident. And the path is much the same as before. As you're moving, though, Thistle suddenly neighs in fear and rears up on his back legs. You have a split second to react. What do you do?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know how good my character would be at animal handling. I guess I would try to go up like on the side of the
Hmm.
horse, not behind, but on the side, and try to grab hold of the bridle or the reins,
Hmm.
and just soothe the horse.
And in your mind's eye, are you on the right side of the horse or the left side of the horse?
I think I'm on the left side.
Okay, cool. Um, and Riss and Charlotte, what do you do?
I see myself on the right side of the horse, and
Hmm.
is the
I think
reaction
I'll
the
jump
horse
out of the cart.
Okay, Riss just leaps. Yeah, and Charlotte, would you say sorry?
the horse's reaction was very sudden, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I I reach for my axe,
Hmm.
and yeah, while approaching the horse,
Okay,
see if
and
I can
then
see what it's seeing.
okay, great. So, Varys, you approach the horse to soothe it. Um, Riss, you leap off the cart,
Yeah, to
and
see what's like in the area.
yeah,
Like look at the.
and Charlotte, you approach as well from the right side. And Varys, as soon as you go to get to the reins, Thistle bolts and charges to the left into you and into the off the path into the hillside. I need you to make a check in a second. Branwyn is knocked from the cart, lands on the hillside incredibly awkwardly, rolls down, and hits her head on a rock.
No, little old lady.
Little old lady is right. Varys, I need you to make an agility check with a difficulty of 0. So you have 1 or more. And you just have 1 card because it's just you doing it by yourself.
Okay, so
So
1 card.
you're hoping for reds and better yet diamonds.
Okay. Oh,
Sweet. So that's a -1. So that's a failure.
I got trampled by a horse.
Yes, you were trampled by a horse, and you are. Yeah. Okay.
I'm so weak.
Yeah, and I'm just checking as well. I'm checking your armor rating, and your vigor's very low, so your armor rating's low. So yeah, you're going to become. I guess I can introduce damage now. How damage works. Um,
Yeah.
you're going to take 5 damage,
No.
and how damage works in this game is if it beats your armor rating, then you would become wounded essentially, and that's a terrible thing. You don't want to become wounded. There's no health points in this game. You're either wounded or you're not wounded. Uh,
Oh.
if you become wounded when you're already wounded, then you begin dying. And wound is a terrible thing. It adds -2 to all your attributes. But do not fear. Um, when you fail a check, as we said before, you can exert yourself to succeed. You can also exert your equipment. If you use equipment that's related to a check, in this situation, your armor is trying to stop the damage, you can either exert yourself or you could break your armor. If for some reason you are using your shield right now, you can break your shield as well. So you have a choice. You can either exert yourself or you could break your armor or you can become wounded, but I don't recommend that part.
No, you know what? I'm gonna break my armor.
Okay, sure. So the thistle tramples into you, knocks you to the side. You land awkwardly on a rock, but you find that your hired armor tears through and takes most of the blunt of the damage. On your inventory, you'll see that there's a checkbox next to your hide armor underneath like this kind of broken shield icon. You can check that to mark that it's broken. And now what that means is your armor now no longer helps you stop damage, and any damage that you take now is only compared against your vigor, which is very low. So any damage will hurt you now, basically. Whereas before, little damage would not hurt you. So Thistle charges past, knocks poor Varys to the side. He lands awkwardly on some stones and tears through his hide. Riss, you jump off the cart just in time. You're fine. Charlotte, you're on the other side of the horse. You approached it, but it bolted before you got there. And then poor Branwyn has fallen off the cart, and landed and hit her head. And yeah, she stopped moving. Um, as you kind of like gather yourselves and realize what's happened, you hear a loud stomping sound and a huge bellow of some kind of creature up ahead.
Oh
Then,
boy.
peeking beyond the trees, you see a giant, thick-set, shaggy, man-like being 10 meters tall that emerges from behind the cover of a tree onto the path. It is terrifying to look at. Its body is grotesquely proportioned, with oversized muscles and a wide, elongated head that almost has no neck. It stands about 15 meters away and wields part of another tree as a club, which it raises in challenge and then cries out to the sky again. What do you do?
Oh boy.
The cow stomps menacingly. Thistle is panicking. Cadewood Branwyn is wounded. Yeah, what do you do?
That's a rude neighbor.
Rude. Um,
Ah, fuck. I crawl over to Branwen because I want to make sure that she's okay.
Okay, so Varys heads towards Branwyn. Charlotte and Rhys?
I'll start doing the same. I'll start backing towards, but I don't give my back to the creature. I
Mhm.
just walking backwards to see what the creature will do,
Okay, so
and I'll
heading.
ma- and I'll start heading to the elder if I can.
Okay, and Rhys?
Um, I think I just kind of follow Scarlet because I'm in shock. So I just follow along, not in my back towards them. But I kind of raise my shield a little bit
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
just in case.
So you all move as a group to head towards your Kadoad, your elder, to see if she's okay. The giant creature calls out again in challenge and takes a step forward. You guys reach Branwyn and you see that she's bleeding from the head and that she's unconscious. But you can tend to her wounds. One of you can do that.
Can I use a potion for that?
Nope. Anyone can. Anyone can stop someone. Anyone can treat anyone's wound. Basically, there's no profession gating on that. You can take out some. Everyone has your supplies. In your supplies, you might have some rags and some bandages and that kind of thing. You can take out something to stop the bleeding, and eventually she'll gain consciousness. Your alchemist abilities are not used for healing. The priest is the healer. Your alchemist abilities you can use to enhance people, basically, just like your wonderful hair.
Okay, then can I go ahead and wrap up her injury?
Yeah, sure. So on your inventory, you already need to get rid of one of your supplies. So you'll see at the bottom of your inventory, there'll be 4 check boxes next to the word supply. Just uncheck one of them. You'll take out some rags, as you said, and you'll tend to her wound, put some pressure on it, and stop the bleeding. She will awaken in a few, maybe 5-10 minutes or something like that. What
Oh, I'm
do
going to need to wake up. This thing's not looking happy.
Varys, what and Charlotte? What do you do as Rhys tends to Branwyn's wound?
I speak to my other companion. Either we can try to face it or flee and get help from the village. And I try to assess to see if the two of us can try to take it on.
While I'm not sure that our chances against this creature would be very good, uh, I don't feel good about leading it back to the village, essentially, which is what we'd be doing if we went back there, but I don't know that we could keep it away from it either. It's your call.
Let's see.
I'll say 2 more things
Yeah.
that might help you. One, Thistle's still panicking, and it looks like he's kind of like moving the cart around. He's still attached to the cart, but he's off the main path and the hillside. But he still looks extremely restless. And 2, if you get close enough, you can throw your axes. If that makes you feel any way better, I just let you know you have the option. You can throw your axes.
Okay.
Now you have all the information. You can make a
Right.
decision.
Oh, okay. So the way that I see it, like, I mean, yes, a thrown axe, if it hits something, that will definitely hurt. But this thing is huge, and it's wielding a tree.
Part of a tree. Yep.
Part of a tree. It's wielding part of a tree. Oh God.
So how about this?
Yeah.
Take the elder back to the village, and the two of you throw axes at it. If anything, you'll distract it, and maybe I can get some backup up here. Or the three of us can fight it right here and now.
All right. So you want me to distract it?
Or not to distract, to actually see if we can take it down between you and B. Because I have the lowest vigor.
Okay.
So that's gonna have
Is it
yeah.
-1? Oh,
Say that again, B.
so wait. So you said you have the lowest figure, so yours is at -1.
I'm at -1 on vigor. So if we're gonna one of us should
Wait,
go warn the village if the two of you have higher vigors.
so
I
I'm
would
the only
say
one with
You usually.
yes,
one vigor.
but I would say from a rules perspective, because obviously you guys are new to the game, that actually Charlotte, you're the most capable right now. At least
Oh,
you're the most less likely to be harmed because you haven't exerted yourself and your armor's still intact.
Yeah.
Whereas
Exactly.
Riss is
oh,
already a
okay,
bit tired and Varys's armor is already destroyed.
Exactly. And
okay.
also, I have the
So
same vigor as you.
then between all right, let's turn it down. Then I will try to throw an axe at it.
And then the plan is to have Varys and Riss try and take the Elder away. Is that the plan?
Does it take two people to take the elder away or one?
I would say one of why both of you got -1. No, Riss has got +1 vigor. I'll let her carry the Elder by herself. You and Varys would have to carry them together. Or,
Remember to warn the village as well.
Got it.
All right, let's go axe this thing up then.
okay, that's the plan. Okay, I'm gonna say that was a turn of you guys just like discussing
Yeah.
or what you're doing, and then the giant creature steps forwards again. It's about 10 meters away now. Probably not within axe throwing range. You'd have to wait for it to come closer, or you'd have to move closer yourself, Charlotte. Riss, you pick up the elder, and you're not worried about the horse and the cart, right? You're just taking Branwyn back yourself by carrying, yeah?
Yeah, 'cause I don't know if I can calm the horse enough to get there.
Yeah, that's fair. So you begin walking back. Varys, are you going with Riss, or are you sticking with Charlotte?
I'm going with Frizz.
Okay, cool. And then
Uh,
Charlotte.
All right.
I'm like you. Yeah. I trust that you can distract it for long enough. It'll be fine. I say as I follow Riz.
Damn right. Here we go.
Cool. So Charlotte, you go a bit closer, or you wait for it to come closer.
I go a little bit closer.
Okay, cool. You go a little bit closer. Excellent. All right. So you're a bit closer, and that's your turn. Now, I don't know if you've been noticing, but I've been taking cards for myself in the bottom right corner there. This is our fourth turn, our fourth round. These are called fate cards. So when you're in a tense situation, as you see we are now, sometimes I'll take fate cards, which I'll take cards one by one and keep them in front of me. Then when I reach 4, we're going to flip them over. If there are 2 court cards, which are aces, jacks, queens, or kings, or 1 joker, then something bad will happen, called a complication. Otherwise, you're fine. You might have seen a similar thing in Tower Enforcer.
Yeah.
Very similar mechanic. So we'll flip them over one by one. You guys are okay so far. And you're fine unless this is a joker. Cool. Yeah, you're okay.
Awesome.
So nothing terrible happens. I'll take another one and we begin the count again. So Riss and Varys continue moving down the road,
Yes.
down the path, and then Charlotte, you're now within range to chuck your axe. I'm going to give you an advantage because the creature is huge and very difficult to miss. So this is an agility check. So you're hoping for red cards and diamonds are better. So you can take 2 cards and then flip them over. Perfect. We'll take the best one, which is this. So this is just a red card that's worth +1. And your agility is 0, so there's +1. That is a success. We're hoping for 0, or no, we're hoping for more than 0. And you ready yourself. And you haven't really done this. I don't know. Have you thrown axes before, Charlotte? You might have done it in festivals, perhaps.
Festivals, yeah, that sort of thing. She would be very much into the festivals and things like that. She's very curious, so her curious nature would probably have her do something like that, but nothing serious with, an actual enemy
Yeah,
or
cool.
predator.
So you line up your shot and you wind up and release, and the axe flies through the air and lands squarely in the beast's belly, and then just passes through it. And then you hear it clatter on the floor on the other side.
Oh no.
Wait, it went right through it?
It went right through it. It didn't even stop.
Oh.
Do I notice any sort of, as I see this, do I see any like other transparency in the creature for a quick second, or just like right through,
Yeah, you see like a little bit, like it kind of like just at the instant, because you're really concentrating on it, just at the instant that it reaches the beast, it kind of like flickers a bit. The axe passes through it, and then it's kind of solid again. It looks strange.
Okay.
It looks, yeah.
I kind of bite my lip to not scream out, because that's something probably I've never seen before. But I'm relieved that it might not be able to hurt me.
The beast itself makes no reaction. It didn't even notice that you even threw the axe. It doesn't even seem to be looking at you per se. It just seems to be looking ahead, brandishing its stick menacingly, and then marching forward and shouting out.
Where's the horse?
The horse is where you left it. It's kind of shying away and looking the other direction. It's constantly stamping its feet on the ground and neighing and rearing up. It looked like it could bolt again at any time.
It'll probably be too afraid to approach it. All right, I'm gonna run through it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Varys and Riss, I know you're walking away. You glancing back at all to see how your companion's doing?
Yes, I am.
Cool. You glance back. You glance back and you see Charlotte running without weapons at the beast. I assume to you it looks like she's essentially giving herself up to the creature.
Yeah.
Well, how far away would they have been from me when right after I threw the axe? Would they be, if I were to scream out, would they be able to hear it?
Yeah. They're not that far away, really. Say 10, 15 meters.
So I yell out. I yell out. The axe went through it.
Do you need mine? I yell back.
I yell out no, and I just.
We should have gave it to you before you left, honestly.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that would have been a good idea. God damn it.
It's okay. This is Warhammer now. We're just gonna do it.
Have you got your shield out as well, Charlotte?
Yeah, I do have my shield with me.
Yeah, so you charge your shield first, sure. So you charge. I'll take this other card. You charge shield first into the beast, and do you leap or do you just run into its leg, or do you aim for the groin, or what's happening here? Charlotte?
Oh, sorry. I'll try to go around it in a way, just in case. But I want to see just how
So
what's gonna happen.
So you're trying to like run past its leg, basically.
Yeah, run past its leg. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's what you do. You kind of run to its side, head for its leg, so at least you like kind of hit past it, and you just feel like you're running through air. Once you reach through it and turn around, you don't see it anymore.
And I immediately go for my axe.
Yeah, and your axe is further down the path Varys and Riss, you kind of see Charlotte kind of sort of run through it, but for you, you're so far away, it's hard to tell whether she went through it or if she kind of like clipped past it. But you do see that the beast doesn't seem to react to her. It doesn't turn around to try and get at her either. It's still just walking forwards, shouting around and swinging its stick.
Huh.
I scream, "Oh my god, she's dead."
Don't say that. She might be fine. Probably.
She's not there. She's not there. I'm holding an old frail lady who may be dying because we're not doing much, and she's not there.
Well, if I were dead, if my character were dead, would you see a splat of blood? If there's no blood, I might be alive.
Yeah, I'm
Oh no!
cool with
If you like stop and kind of look, you can see Charlotte. She's like behind the beast. She's there somewhere. She's
Yeah.
currently running back, trying to pick up her axe. She hasn't disappeared.
Yeah, I do that. Um I look because I'm like,
Charlotte, you reach the axe, pick it up, and turn around, and yeah, you can't see the beast anymore, and you can't hear it either. As far as you can tell, it's just not there anymore. You can see your friends or companions, at least, down the way, kind of looking back in a bit of shock and a bit of horror.
I step a tiny bit forward and I just kind of like wave my arms at them to see if they can see me, and then I'll turn my head to the other way to see what's up ahead.
Up ahead, you see the valley path kind of going down a bit further and winding around a corner eventually, but nothing out of the unusual, nothing peculiar that you can tell. Riss and Varys, you kind of see Charlotte between the creature's legs, but you can't see her really waving her hands because the beast's giant tummy is in the way.
oh my god. I say we keep going. She seems to be doing okay, and that thing doesn't seem to even know that she's there. We have our injured elder with us. We need to get her back to safety.
You sure? I don't think it's a good idea to, I don't know, split up right now. Because now that we know maybe that thing's not actually a thing, what if something even worse is over there?
Alright, but do you propose that we just put the elder down in the grass and just leave her?
Or we
Or
try to calm down the horsey, put her in the cart, and then have the horse go to the village.
Yeah, I mean, just Sealy for a second. Like, a lot of horses, if they go the same path a lot, they will just know it by heart. Um, so that could be a thing. Like, we could possibly let it do that, but it's so skittish right now, um, as horses tend to be. So I don't know if it's safe to just leave her. I think maybe at least one person should go with her if we're gonna do that. Like, because it could bolt again. What do you guys say?
Um, so which one of us should do that?
Uh,
If you guys are, if they're still in hearing distance
yeah,
from me,
you can yell.
yeah, I'll yell out. I'll wait for you until you come back in this area. So I'll just kind of like wait there for them to come back. Because my character is thinking if they set this up, then there's probably something worse up ahead.
all right.
Okay. Then I'll go. How about you try to calm the horse if you can, and I'll try to at least sneakily put it on the cart.
All right.
So you're heading back now.
Yeah. Yes, I
Cool.
begrudgingly go towards the horse that trampled me earlier.
Yes, I will put a little spanner in the works. Does it change your mind if I tell you the giant has now reached roughly near where the cart is
Yes.
on its relentless march forward?
Yeah. I look at Riss. I don't think this is a good idea. I think we need to keep going.
You sure? Because I don't think it actually can do anything but scare us.
Do
But
you
yeah,
do you really want to take that risk?
horsey. Yes,
Okay, I don't want to
we
take
need to
that
get
risk.
her there back to the village fast. And us walking clearly wasn't the way because
Okay, but
it really
listen.
just.
Okay, but listen. If we get there and the horse gets startled again, which it is very likely to do because horses get startled when they accidentally see another horse. Okay, if it gets startled again, it's gonna run off. It might gore me again. It might gore you. It might trample the elder who already has a head injury. What are you gonna say to the village if you're like, oh yeah, I went back to the horse while there was a giant monster right next to it, and even though the horse already got scared one time and trampled one of us, we just let it trample the village elder who was already injured.
Okay, while you guys are bickering, I'm gonna check check fate once again, and we're gonna see if something happens.
Oh God,
Oh, that's not good. Oh, there we
that's
go.
not good. Oh
Oh
no, that's really
no.
not good.
Cool. All right.
Oh God, I'm so screwed.
So I have here what happens.
B, please
Some
help me take the village elder back to the village.
yeah. No, actually, you know what? So
Oh
the
fuck.
you guys you're talking to each other, right?
Yes.
You're both kind of like motioning to the car, motioning to the village.
Yeah.
You're focusing on each other, not really looking at what's going on, right? That's fair to say.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, Charlotte, you can't even see the beast anymore. You don't hear or see this. Riss and Varys, you suddenly hear the beast give an even deeper guttural cry and roar. You feel it shake through your core. You know how if you're at a concert and you stand in front of the speakers,
Yes.
you can feel the music. It is
Yeah.
like that, but with this horrible voice. Um, you're startled. You turn to look at the beast, and it is no longer there.
Oh. Uh.
And you can just see Charlotte just standing around waving at you.
I don't.
Rather like,
Um,
I don't like this.
I
well, the monster's gone now.
All right, fine. We'll get
Should
the.
we,
We'll get the
yeah.
cart. We'll get the cart. We'll put her
Yeah.
on it. We'll have at least one person on there with her. And I.
Let's hurry. Let's hurry.
Yeah.
We should
Yeah.
hurry.
Yeah. We head
sure.
back towards the cart, and I will once again attempt to calm down the horse.
Cool. So you guys kind of like jog back to the cart. Charlotte, do you go to meet them or do you go somewhere else?
actually go further into the whatever it is, the path,
So there's the
and
path ahead and there's the hillsides either side of the path.
so like away from where they are.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah. I try to find like a little hidden space
Sure.
because this is
There's a bunch of
scary.
like boulders and rocks and trees on the hillsides. So if you kind of go off the path, you can hide behind one of those if that's the kind of thing you're thinking about.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, cool. So Charlotte heads her way down. You two jog back to the cart together. Now that the creature is gone, Varys, you kind of soothe Thistle. Do you want to describe how you do that? I'm sure you know exactly how to calm a horse. It sounds like you know something about horses.
Uh. I. I mean, I've probably been around horses a fair bit. There must be like at least a few of them in the village.
Yeah, yeah, there is,
And
including Thistle. You know Thistle.
yeah, exactly. Like Varys likes animals. Um, so yeah, I would say that that he's been around them quite a bit.
Yeah. So Thistle recognizes you. You kind of scratch behind its ears and tell it it's okay. It kind of looks around and sees that the beast is gone. and then it calms down and the cart stops moving. Riss, you're putting Branwyn in the cart, right? Right, B?
Yep, and I
Yeah.
checked the wound just to make sure that everything's okay.
Sure. So yeah, you place Branwyn in the cart. The wound has indeed stopped bleeding, and then after a few seconds of you lying her down there, Branwyn regains consciousness. Kind of looks a little bit dazed, looks around and sees you both, and then asks you what happened.
Oh boy. Yeah, I look to Riz. You wanna explain this?
Oh, sorry. There's one thing that I did miss. It's not a big deal. Varys, you're a bard, right?
Yeah.
I should have given you some special knowledge. You the creature that you saw, you recognize it, and you know that it's called a cawr. That's CAWR, cawr. This is. I just typed that into a random chat. That was not. It's not. I want to put it in free gazers. I'm not sure who free gazers. I just wrote cawr in the channel. I'm so sorry. I will delete that.
I see it. I see it.
No, I'll delete that out. Okay, so you know that creature is called a cawr. It's essentially a giant. And it is a terrible beast, as an abomination, as an enemy of the god. It's a particularly powerful monster, as you guys ascertained. But you know that it is. It's strange that you've seen one here because it's a southern creature. It's a southern legend, and you're not in the south. You're in the middle of Avallen right now. So you do know this creature by name. That's the key point here that I missed. Sorry.
All right. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Well, with that extra information, I turn to Brenwyn and try to as calmly as I can, explain that Kaur was here,
Hmm.
but it is mysteriously gone now, and we're not sure where it went. But we're going to get her to safety.
Branwyn says that she says, "Okay, well, you said it disappeared. How did it disappear? It just vanished."
It simply vanished. Yes.
Hmm. She kind of thinks for a second. She says, "I don't think that was a cower. That's not the kind of monster that, at least I've ever heard of being around here. That sounds like you saw an illusion. That sounds like magic to me."
That does sound about right. It's
Be right back. One sec, guys. Be right back.
Sure.
yeah, no worries. It seemed like Charlotte went right through it when she charged at it.
Yeah. Branwyn nods. Interesting. She says, "Then we're either dealing with mages or we're dealing with fae."
Oh, let it be
I'd
mages.
rather be with the mages.
Let it be mages. I don't want to
Branwyn
fuck with
laughs.
the Fae.
Yeah. She appreciates you understands that the fae are sometimes no good.
I mean, they're
So
difficult at the best of times.
yeah. She
I lean over to my partner just to be like, yo, if it's the Fae, I say we just leave them. There's no helping. We just leave.
Bran
I mean, depending on how and what's going
Uh,
on, it it might not be impossible, but if they're sending illusions of this magnitude after us, I doubt it's anything good. So you
at
might be
this
right.
point, they did. I'm just saying, they must have did something.
Branwyn, as your elder, wants to remind you that the Fae are our ancestors reborn as children of the Ever Ones, so they do warrant some respect. But the Fae often have desires that bring them into conflict with us regular folk. That is true.
Yeah,
And I'm back.
Cool.
welcome back.
All you missed is that we're discussing whether the illusion that you saw was either Mage's doing or Faye's doing, and the party does not seem to be happy by the prospect that there might be Faye involved.
Well, it's not that I don't respect them. It's simply that they're sometimes a little difficult to deal with.
Yeah, exactly. Branwyn says that maybe we should have a rest now, and that she will not be going back to the village. This is more important, and we need to press on. But we will take a rest here.
All right.
All right.
That's
So we're going to take a short rest. Anyone that is exerted, which is Riss, if you would like to, you can consume a supply and get rid of your exertion, which means you can then automatically succeed any check again. Although, no, I do say automatically succeed. I mean, succeed any check that you fail. If you critically fail, then you kind of have to do two things. You have to exert yourself and break your armor or something like that. So it's not always a get out of jail free card. So you can consume a supply, mark it off your sheet, and then get rid of the exerted. So you're back to fighting fitness, or you can keep it if you, for some reason you don't want to use the supply. But I would recommend that.
Okay. Take a
I think
supply.
everyone else is fine. Varys, your armor's broken. If we had a crafter with us, we could get that repaired right now. But alas, we do not.
yeah.
Branwyn's not a crafter, and that's okay. Cool. So, you already had your little chat. That's good. And we're good to go. So, Branwyn takes out some food. She relaxes a bit, gives some to Thistle as well. You guys have that little conversation you had just now about the Fae and what they mean to you guys and your people. And then you make your way on. I guess if you have any questions, if you want to ask Branwyn before we head off again, you can. If not, then we'll start moving.
Yeah. I would like to ask her if there's been anything else weird going on lately other than the disappearances.
She says, no, this is the strangest thing that's happened for a while now.
All right.
Yeah, this is something definitely new.
Okay, well, I will leave it at that.
Cool.
Anyone else?
I'm just hiding in my rock.
Oh yes, sorry, Charlotte, I forgot. You literally left the chat for a second, come back, and I forgot you're hiding behind a rock up the path there. I'm so sorry. You are. Thank you for reminding
All
me.
good.
Yeah. So everyone else takes a little rest, and you're hiding behind this rock ahead, and you're hoping to see if anything's coming the other way, basically, right?
Yeah, I'm just on high alert to see if my party is coming or if something else is,
Yeah.
way.
So I'll assume that the others see you make your way up the path a little bit. So they don't think that you've disappeared. With the coward, and you're hiding behind this rock, and you don't see anything. You see the birds fly by, wind rustles leaves, but there's no one on the path.
Awesome.
And eventually, Charlotte, Riss, Branwyn, and Thistle will catch up to you.
Yeah.
When I see them with the elder, I kind of raise an eyebrow and I go, change of plans?
Yeah. The beast that we saw was, well, I mean, it should be no surprise by this point, but it was definitely an illusion. And the elder would like us to continue.
Very well.
How are you doing?
I'm good. It was just ran right through it, and I've been hiding here since.
Goodness.
Nothing so far has shown up.
Did you get your axe back?
I show it, I pull it out and I show it.
Ah, good.
So we continue then.
Yep,
Yes.
you continue them. The cart makes its way down the winding valley for another few hours as the sun begins to dip in the sky. As you round another bend, you sight a lump in the middle of the path about 20 meters ahead of you. It's clearly a person lying awkwardly in the shade of one of the hillside trees. Branwyn brings Thistle to a stop and calls out to the person, but gets no response. What do you do?
I jump out to rush to help the person.
Okay. So Riss clambers out of the cart and then rushes down the path to go check on them. How about you, Varys and Charlotte?
I stand beside the cart as I've been walking next to it this entire time, and I unsheath my axe, just sort of keeping a lookout because we've already had one attempted ambush that sort of was successful. So I just want to make sure that there's nothing coming for us now.
Great. And Charlotte?
Well, how's the person laid out again? Like
Kind
just
of just like
or
lying on their back, the not in a natural lying position.
Yeah, that doesn't sound
They
good.
don't look comfortable, is what I'm saying.
well, since someone's already approaching the person, I'll stay next to the horse and keep like a hand on the reins in case the horse tries to do anything.
Yeah, the horse is the bad guy here. Yeah,
I'm just like, we're gonna lose the horse.
it's all
Yeah.
Thistle's fault. Yeah, Thistle summoned the illusion. Cool.
I'm on alert, but I'm over like my character's over the inconveniences at this point. It's just like run them over.
Yeah, cool. So, Riss, you approach the body. As you're walking closer, you see that they're not moving. Uh, they're clearly a woman. There's a long spear lying next to them, and they are wearing some armor. You also spy a large clump of cloth, another couple of meters down the path. You keep going closer to the body.
Yeah, but I call out that I think there's more to the others as I keep going.
Okay. Ferris and Charlotte, do you change anything, or do you stay where you are?
I stay where I am. I try to stay on alert.
So she's saying that there's like cloth, like clumped up cloth, like ahead of this person.
On the other, further away from where you are. Yeah.
I stay where I am, but I try to like I'm more on alert.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, Riss, you get close to the body now, and you reach and you recognize who it is. You see that this is indeed Seren, the missing warrior of the McKinney village. She has black hair pulled into a bun and some decorative war paints on her face. She is unfortunately looks deceased. Um, Her chainmail seems to be fine, and there's no blood or obvious wound on her actually. But she's not moving, she's not breathing, and she's somewhat pale. There's also a short bow and backpack beneath her, underneath her, and then there's a clump of cloth further down the pathway. What do you do?
Can I check her body just to see if there's anything useful? Is that a thing
Sure.
I can do?
Yeah, you mean like check her belongings?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So you'd have to lift her, like move her to get to her backpack that's underneath her. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So you kind of lift her up slightly, and you find that she has a short bow with a quiver and some arrows. Her backpack, you look inside it, and you see that it's been emptied. Her chainmail is not broken, and there's a large spear that lies next to her. And at the tip of the spear, you see that there's a blue dried liquid on it.
Can I go ahead and take the short bow and quivers and then go back to the others and let them know what I found?
Sure. Yep, you approach the others, and they see you coming back with a short bow and a quiver. Yeah, what do you guys say?
If once I hear that the person's declared dead and that's the person we've been looking for, I walk over to the other cloth.
Okay. Branwyn is clearly saddened by the news. She then kind of like clicks at Thistle and begins moving the cart forward. She says something about burying the body.
As it should be.
And Varys, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm incredibly sad that one of the people we're looking for is found dead, I bow my head in respect for the deceased, and I assure Brenwyn that we'll get the funeral rites underway as soon as we come back home.
Yeah. So Charlotte, you approach the cloths further down the path, and you see that this is what we call a mystic's robes. These are robes that spellcasters would wear. And someone's clearly missing the clothes because there's no body attached to these, and clearly were not Saren's. There's just a clump of cloth on the floor. If you pick it up and look inside, if you move it around, let me know.
I will
Otherwise, there's
use.
nothing else.
I'll use my axe to kind of touch it,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of shuffle around to see if there's anything worth looking at or picking
Sure.
up.
Yeah, that sounds wise. So you take your axe and kind of pick it up and move it around. You see that the robe is torn in places, and it has intricate designs sewn into it. There is nothing underneath it but a wooden icon of the Evermother, one of your goddesses, and there is a small pouch.
I'll ask for as the car comes forward,
Mhm.
and our elder approaches us. I'll show our elder and see if she has any wisdom or any advice on how to handle the situation, and I
Yeah.
show her what I found.
Cool. So she looks shocked at first and says, "Oh, those belong to Halen." And then she looks confused. She says, "You haven't seen a body, though."
There was no body, just this.
Hmm. She doesn't know what to think of that.
Do you guys think that she betrayed? Who got betrayed, maybe?
Well, should I pick up the items or leave them there?
Bramwell says, "Definitely take them.
I'll take them then.
If we can't find them, then at least you could use them, maybe."
I'll take the items then.
Then Branwyn will get off the cart, and she says that we're going to bury the body here because Thistle. Well, we don't want to put the body in the back of the cart and keep it for a few days.
That would be a bad idea.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she will ask your help to take Seren onto the hillside, and then you guys will gather stones to make a cairn to bury her there.
Very well.
Can I grab the spear?
Yes, you can grab the spear. Who said that? Sorry, Riss?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the spear, you have the short bow. Varys, actually, yeah, Branwyn does say we should. She says like, we can use what we can. It would be a waste to, well, like our village has so little, it would be a waste to bury her with her armor. She would want us to use it. We were better off with it. So you guys can undress her armor. She still has underclothes. And Varys, if you want to, you can don it, or someone else can don it if you want to get some armor back. Or we can put it in the cart if you'd rather not. That's up to you.
I will take it. I mean, my armor is shot for now, but we'll of course keep it so it can be repaired back in the village.
Okay, cool. Then I'm gonna. So the chain is chainmail, and it's slightly different from your armor. It has more defense, which you'll be pleased to know, but it's being made primarily of metal. It disadvantages you against magic.
All right.
Cool. And then you put your other armor in the cart. You guys take Seren's body with Branwyn onto the hillside. The sun is setting, bathing the valley before you in a cool red glow. Branwyn thanks you all again for saving her and Thistle earlier. And then you guys gather some stones to create a cairn.
Yes.
We do the respectful burial.
Yeah. Brennan explains that for Seren's spirit to reach the other ones, she must be buried with the appropriate rites. Otherwise, her spirit might become lost or worse, corrupted in the other world. You guys do the appropriate rites, and then Brennan says a few words. She says, "Ever once, Seren was the strongest of the McKenny. She drove off bandits, bested the Catchy, and died here defending us. Embrace her spirit, and let her be reborn in your image." She pauses for a moment of silence and then says, "Now we eat."
All right.
And you guys will make camp. And you guys will make camp and chill out, and the sun will set. You will sleep.
I'll look into the pouch
Yeah.
that I picked up and see what's inside.
Yes, that's a wonderful question. Inside, you will see 2 pieces of. Let me check. Where is that? I have my notes here. In the pouch, you see. Yep, 2 pieces of small parchment.
And I unscroll.
Yeah, looking inside them, you see they have symbols drawn on them. And Branwyn, if you show them to her, she will let you know that these are spell scrolls. These allow anyone to cast magic, even if they have no experience before. You just have to trace your finger over the patterns, and you can use the magic that way.
Do you know what these spells are?
She'll kind of raise an eyebrow, look at them, and then yes, one of these is for elemental magic. It's some kind of attack or dangerous spell, and the other one is solar magic. It's a healing spell that can heal people or help plants.
Good to know. And I put them away and I keep them.
Cool. Then put them in your inventory. You can put them in your backpack, or you can you've got plenty of space in your backpack. So just put elemental scroll and solar scroll, and then you can do whatever you like with that. So before you rest while you're eating, Branwyn brings up the fact that it's strange that Seren obviously died, but that she clearly had no wounds on her. She thinks that she either was killed by poison or by magic.
Magic seems to be the prevalent thing around here.
Yeah. She says that the stone that they were sent to repair to tend to. I don't know if you know. Maybe Varys does, but the stone is a sealing stone that seals a doorway to the other world in this cave that we're visiting. And it's seeming more and more likely that perhaps something escaped, is what she's thinking.
Yeah, that would explain quite a few things.
Yeah.
I was really hoping it would be mages.
Yeah, human beings are easier to deal with at most times. But we'll get through it.
Branwyn says our priority now is actually to repair the stone. I have some paints I brought with me. I can do it once we get there. Once we've done that, then we'll look for Halen if we can. But our priority now is definitely to repair that.
All right. That makes sense. Well,
Cool. And you will sleep in and under the cart. The cart, sorry. That's okay.
yeah, I sleep under it,
Per-
I'm guessing.
Yeah. And normally, when you rest, you need to use a supply to eat some food and get through the night. But Branwyn has brought some, so she feeds you all from
Ah,
what's in the car. You don't have to deplete your own resources.
very kind.
You wake the next day. Your sleep was uninterrupted. You'll be pleased to hear.
oh, thank goodness.
And you make your way off again. And I am going to have to take a 1 minute break to get some more water because I'm parched and my drink has run out.
That is perfectly fine. I
Right.
will take the opportunity to run and pee real quick.
Yep, that's great too. Yeah, Yep, this will take a quick break.
Okay, super quick break. We will be right back.
Yep. Yep, cool.
Yep.
So you wake up the next morning. The morning is quiet, giving everyone a chance to reflect on the hardships of yesterday. With some hours of travel, you reach your destination. The path ends at the opening of a rocky cave. The entrance is tall and wide enough to fit a person. uh, that blue liquid that you saw, Riss, on the spear tip, um, you see that kind of a marking of it near the wall as well. There is a faint sound of rushing water can be heard inside. Um, Notably, though, there is an empty indent on the ground before the cave. And Branwyn kind of gets out the car and looks around and says, the ceiling stone's not here. And she kind of motions to you. She's like, it's about this big. And she kind of puts her hands in front of her. It's about like half a meter tall. It has like patterns carved into it. She begins to kind of scour the area looking for it.
Can I collect the liquid?
Say that again, Riss?
Is it possible for me to collect the blue liquid?
Yes. Yes, it is. You have all sorts of like containers for storing things that you find. You can, and you probably have some tools as well for like grinding things, like a pestle and mortar and that kind of stuff in your alchemy kit. Yeah, you can try and like flake some off and stick some and store it if you want to. Yep, definitely.
So how insane is it the fact that she just said it was missing and she couldn't find it? Like, is that something in in the village culture that would just be like absolute insanity?
What do you mean by insane? You mean like unusual? What do you mean?
Like if it's not, if you can't find it, it's like a crisis.
Yeah, somewhat. You know, it's taken you a day and a bit to reach here, so this cave isn't like right next to the village, um, and no one's seen anything weird in the village yet. But it is close enough that it's of a concern that
Okay.
basically the what Branwen might have explained to you before is that the other world is where our ancestors go, and sometimes it's a nice place, and sometimes it's a bad place. It's also where abominations and horrible spirits can be found as well. Um, some places have open doors to the other world nearby that they take care of um, and have a relationship with. But you guys, as a small little village, you don't have the resources to kind of like cultivate that. And so for you, it's kind of random what comes out.
Got it. So my character's startled, but she starts helping to look for it and keeps an eye on to see if she can find it.
Yeah, so you look around for a bit, and it's nowhere to be seen. Branwyn spots um, the blue markings on the cave wall and sees you, Riss, playing with the spear tip. And then she asks you, like, was that there when you found it? Where was that? Is that the same as what's on the wall?
Yeah, it was right beside the the body. I picked it up, put it in my stuff, and I also have this nice bottle of liquid now.
All right. She kind of looks to you all and says, you've already done so much. Obviously, if you didn't come with me, I might not be here anymore. But I must ask you to do further. Um, I want I ask of you to go inside this cave um, and look for Halin. Maybe look for the Sealing Stone, but most importantly, look for the door to the other world and see if you can solve the troubles that are happening here. I am confident you show me already. I know that this is something that's within your capabilities.
I nod.
Uh,
Like, yes. Of course we will do that, Elder. I wait for my companions to respond as well.
I kind of get my axe ready and I go in as well without a word, just a nod.
Nice.
Sounds like a plan. Let's do this.
She says also that I'm going to stay here with Thistle, but I will stay here if you need anything or if you see anything, then I'll be here waiting for you.
Understood. Thank you.
So you enter one at a time. Who's going first?
I think Nessa goes first.
Yeah, it sounds like
Okay.
Charlotte just walked ahead.
I'll go first.
And then I rush right behind.
Well, I guess I'm bringing up the rear.
Cool, excellent. So the cave is dark and dank, and it's difficult to see. Here's a new thing for you guys to learn. The supply that you have, it's like I said before, it's a catch-all resource that has your food in it, your provisions that you use for your profession. It also has just random things in it that you might have on you when you're doing this kind of stuff. So if one of you wants to expend the supply, you can have a torch that you can light and then keep with you until it runs out. Or if for some reason you don't want to use the supply, I think that your spell that you got, Charlotte, that can also illuminate the way. But casting magic is risky, and you might want to save that for something less mundane.
If the
Yeah.
if the cave needs light, then we'll use a torch.
So one of you will need to get a torch out of their backpack and expend a supply to do that.
I'll do that.
Cool.
Oh, sweet. 'Cause I only have 2 supplies left.
Cool. Perfect. I'm just checking. I have the spells here for later. Okay, great. So yeah, you take out a torch, you light it, and you make your way in. The cave begins narrow and then widens so that 2 people can walk side by side. After 5 to 10 minutes of walking, the group you reach a space that's much wider. There's a flat wall ahead of you, and then the cavern splits off into 2 passageways, one to the right and one to the left. The left slopes downwards and is somewhat quiet. The right one slopes upwards, and you can hear the sound of rushing water.
All right. Well, I suggest we go right.
Isn't there like a saying that always follows the water? So shouldn't we do that?
Yeah.
Cool.
So we're
Sounds
going
like,
right?
yeah, it sounds like you agreed to me.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go right then.
Cool. So you head upwards slightly right, and after some time, the rocky tunnel climbs and then splits again. The path ahead of you pinches, becomes narrower, and there's a frothing river ahead of you where it pinches. Another path that splits off it goes to the right and kind of winds away. The sound of rushing water is almost deafening here. The cavern roof also lowers towards the river that rushes through the space. The river's moving from right to left across the passageway. Yeah. You can move closer to examine the river, or you can move down the other path, or whatever else you imagine.
I'll move closer to examine the river, since we're already here.
Yeah, I do the same.
Okay, great. Let me just gather something from my GM materials, which is always a good sign for you guys. So yeah, you get closer to the river. And yeah, as I said, it flows from right to left. It flows through tunnels, holes in the cavern walls. Looking inside, you see it's impossibly dark in there, but it sounds like the one on the left that the river flows into leads to a waterfall because you can hear crashing water through the tunnel. The river runs fast, and there's water constantly splashing off rocks onto the lowered cavern above you. It makes it difficult to see past it, but taking a moment to look on the other side, a few meters away, there's a small alcove with a chest.
Hmm.
And the river
rushed to the
is,
chest.
sorry, I would say the river is a couple of meters across. You can't rush to the chest, the river's in the way.
I get excited about the chest.
And there's no way to go around it.
No, it runs straight through the passage that you're in, through two holes in the wall either side of you.
I look to our navigator so far.
Well, we might want to leave it, unless you can think of a safe way to reach it.
Is
We
it possible
don't.
to use the spear I have to, what is it where they jump over something? Let me see.
Oh, you want to
vault?
do the vault? Yeah, the
Yeah.
vault.
You want a pole vault? I love
can
it.
I do that?
Yeah, you can do that. I mean, you can try. Sorry, I just drank some water and it went down the wrong hole, so I had to mute for a second while I cast. I will do that one more time.
Don't choke, please.
Yeah. Yeah, you could totally pole vault. Again, this game, you're encouraged to just think of anything that you can do with the tools that you have around you to help you do tasks. And if you do that, I'll definitely give you an advantage to try and cross the river.
Okay, so I have to do what to...
Well, we're going to hold on one second. So Riss gets out her spear and lines up and looks like she's about to pole vault across the river. Varys and Charlotte, what do you do? And
Well,
you're gone.
Yeah, you
go ahead, Mel.
Well, I guess I just keep standing here close-ish to the torchlight, on the lookout, and just a little bit like, yeah, well, I can't stop her.
Well, my question was, is the river deep, and how much is it rushing? Like, what's the current like?
Yeah, you could ask that of Riss, and Riss can poke her spear, or she can just go for it. It's up to you, Riss.
I'll poke my spear.
Sure. It's a maybe like waist deep, up to like your mid chest.
Okay.
So somewhat deep, but more importantly, the river's very like rapid. It's
Okay,
not
it's
like
very rapid. Yeah.
yeah.
There we go. I encourage this. Whatever this is gonna do, I go for it. Do it.
I got
You
enough
enable.
encouragement. Let's try it.
Okay. I want to.
Yeah.
Sorry, Riss, say that again.
I was just like, aren't you a bard? You can inspire me to do better.
That's actually Varys' second ability that she hasn't learned yet.
Yeah, I don't have that. Listen, I'm just a himbo with a lute, okay? You don't don't yell at me.
Okay, cool. All right, then it sounds like we're just going for this. So this is a bigger check, which is to your advantage, Riss. If you fail, you can always exert yourself or break your spear. So there's always these safety nets here. And I'll give you an advantage for using your spear. So you take 2 cards, and then you're hoping for red, better off hearts. And you're looking, your figure's 1. So
Come on, big money! Woo!
yeah, nice, cool. So you get a +2. It hasn't happened yet for you guys. We haven't made too many checks yet. We've mostly been you've been handling situations in other ways, and that's cool too. But I will say now that if you ever succeed, and you succeed while using a court card or a joker, then you get a critical success. And if you fail with a court card or a joker, then you get a critical failure. But we'll come to that when it comes. Since it's just a success for you, you take a few steps back, you run forward, plant the spear in the middle of the river, and it's not really that far across, really. And you kind of like, yeah, you do as you say. You grab onto it, hold onto it, and the spear levers you to the other side. You get splashed with water as you go across, and then you land safely on the other side.
Hey, I made it.
You did it.
Good job.
Okay, so do I go ahead towards the chest, I guess,
Sure.
and I try to open it?
Cool. Yeah, it's locked, at least with a simple lock. But you could smash it open if you wanted to with the end of the spear or your axe or something.
I'll use my axe.
Okay. So you hack at the chest, you break through its simple lock, open it, and inside you find a bunch of coins, mostly coppers, a few silver, and there's also a small bone in there. The bone is it's kind of been smoothed down to kind of lose its normal form, and it has intricate patterns kind of carved into it.
Okay, I grab everything. I inspect the bone.
Mm-hmm.
Am I able to read it?
No, there's nothing legible on there, and also you aren't
Okay.
particularly good at reading neither.
Sounds about right. Hopefully, one of my friends.
Cool. Are you gonna shovel the coins into your pouches, or are you gonna split them
Yes.
with your companions?
Oh yeah, I should. They were encouraging. Okay, so I'll split the money with my friends since we're all technically in this cave together.
Cool. You'll have to make your way back first, though. And also, you look around. It's a very small space. You don't see anything else. It was just a chest that was hiding out there.
Okay, so do I have to do it again to?
Yep. Yep. You have to do it
Okay,
again.
cool.
Yep. So yeah, go ahead. Same as last time.
Okay. What's my luck? Just not be it. Oh,
Okay. Cool.
hey,
So
yeah.
again, your spear helped you out, and you walk back to the side just as you did before. And you're back. While Riss was doing this, Varys and Charlotte, nothing changed in your surroundings. You just saw Riss vault over, loud banging sound as she hacked open through the chest, and then came back.
All right. Well, I'm glad that went well.
Guys, I got some coins for us all.
Oh,
Ooh.
It's
Also,
not.
this bone.
Yeah.
A bone.
Also, this bone. Yeah, it's really cool.
did you take it?
Of course, I took it.
Oh. Can I see it?
Yeah, here you go.
Thank you. I would like to examine it.
Yeah. So you turn it over in your hand, and it is a very small bone, about the size of the palm of your hand. You can't tell what kind of bone it once was. It's been carved down and smoothed over, and then around the bone, there's a lot of intricate patterns that have been carved into it. You haven't seen anything quite like it before. You would have seen things with patterns carved into it. Maybe you've seen bones with things carved into it before, but this seems to have some kind of purpose. It's not just decorative.
All right. Well, either this is for some basic ceremonial purpose and it's fine, or the Fae are gonna eat us now. So those those are the options. We'll see. I hand it back very carefully. I don't want to drop it.
And you can, and so go on, Riss, sorry.
Yeah, I'll take back the bone and gently place it in my bag. Also, how many coppers did I grab?
I would say it's about 2 coppers for each of. No, it's about 3 coppers for each of you, and then 1 silver for each of you.
Oh, cool. Let me add that.
And silvers are worth 10 coppers, as is the tradition.
All right.
Cool.
So where was the next turn then?
Yeah, it was. If you go back the way you came, there was another passageway off to your left now. If you're going back the way you came, or you could return back to the main cavern and go down the other route that was down instead of the way you came.
Well,
I say we keep going up since we're, clearing the place out.
it's not really what we're here for, but you're right. We may as well continue on this path.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they're hiding, we're here to find the stone. So we should clear as much area as we can to make sure that every path we go, instead of going back and forth, just keep going up and then go down to see if we can find it.
Yeah, good point.
Cool. So you make your way back towards that path, and we've had 4 rounds of play now. And I don't know if you've been noticing, but I've been taking cards again, I'm afraid.
Oh no.
Yes, you
Oh,
have
no.
been.
And we're going to flip them one by one and see if something wonderful happens. So if this card is a court card or a joker, then no, you're fine. God damn it. All right.
Oh, thank God.
You're just trying to kill us.
Yeah, just a little bit, just a little bit.
That's what all GMs try to do. Just
Yeah.
a little bit.
Just
I
trying
want
to
I want to get you to the edge of death. I don't want to kill you, just to get you closer. That's all.
kind of a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah. Cool. So yeah, you make your way to that passage that you saw, and this one winds is a bit narrower than the one you came from. Following it along for a little bit, you round a corner and you discover a small alcove with green mushrooms that fluoresce. They give off light, growing in the corner of this alcove, and the passageway continues on past them.
Hmm.
Let's continue then.
Yeah, let's.
Rish, you cool with that?
Yeah, I'm just gonna follow them and hope for the best.
Okay. So you continue on past the glowing mushrooms, and you walk for some time, another few minutes or so, and I take another fate card. And then you round another corner, and you come to a space that has a small alcove in it with some glowing green mushrooms.
Can I pick the mushrooms?
Yep, you can walk to the mushroom.
Amazing.
You don't recognize these mushrooms, which means that they're probably rare and possibly worth taking, and possibly, who knows? But yeah, your instinct's correct. You don't recognize these, and so they're probably rare, which means they're probably worth taking. And you pluck one off its stalk. Are they called stalks? I'm not sure what mushrooms grow off. You take the cap off the stalk, and you can put it in your pocket or in your alchemist gear.
Perfect.
Sweet.
So where do you put it?
Let's do my alchemist gear.
Yeah, you have some kind of like little pouches and things where you store herbs and that kind of stuff. You could put them in there. Does anyone else
So
take
would that be right next to my profession kit to put it down?
Yeah, you can put it there exactly in your inventory. Yeah.
I'll grab some to help.
Yeah, there's only 4.
Okay, got it.
I leave the mushrooms be.
Okay. How many do you take, Charlotte?
I'll take whatever she can't carry. I'll let her carry the most of it.
Okay, I think Riss just took 1, unless Riss wants to take more.
I'll take.
I'll take one more. Can I take one more?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I can't stop you.
I'll take the other two. How big are they? They're not very big, right?
No, they're about the size of your hand. Like the caps are about the size of your palm of your hand.
I'll take two.
Okay, cool. So you both have two. And then you continue on?
Yeah.
Is the path still go?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we'll go.
So you continue down the winding path further. I say down, it doesn't really slope downwards, it just keeps going. And then after a few minutes, you eventually round another corner and you find a small alcove with the four stalks of what were clearly once green mushrooms, but the caps have been taken.
Oh.
Oh.
We're going in circles then.
Uh.
What should we do?
All right. Let's. God. Does anyone have anything to draw with, like chalk or a pen
I'll
or
just
something?
use.
It may be a part of your supply.
Yeah, you can take it from the supply, but I was going to say unless I go on say.
I'm just gonna use my axe to like scratch the wall.
Oh, I was going to say you probably have some makeup and things in your socialite gear as well.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I'll use my makeup, whatever.
Okay, so just we'll.
Mark the walls as you go. Is that your
Yeah,
plan?
exactly. We'll mark the walls. We'll try to alternate so we're not taking the same path.
If we see it again, then we should just double back and head out another way.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's try that. But yeah, let's go.
Okay, so you continue forward again, and Charlotte is marking the walls with some simple paints that she has in her socialite kit. And eventually, you go to round a corner again. And before we find out what's on the other side, I'm going to check fate again because we have been spending lots of time walking. Oh, come on. Oh, what? Okay, you're fine.
Dodging the bullets.
Yeah.
Dodging the bullets.
Yeah, the ever ones truly bless you today. You round the corner.
Bless.
You round the corner, and you end up back in the same scene again. And you can see Charlotte's markings on the wall ahead of you.
Ugh.
Well, this is a pickle.
Well, there's only one thing to do. We should just head back and start going down the stairs to the other way.
Let's try doing that.
So we kind of retrace our steps back.
Sure. You head back the way you just came, and then as you follow Charlotte's markings on the wall again, and as you round another corner, you see that her markings stop. And then if you keep going, eventually you end up back where you were before, near the roaring.
Is there anything different about the room?
Say again, B?
B?
Oh, she
I
dropped.
think
I think
Yeah. If we give her a second, like
she'll be
this.
back.
Yeah, she will be right back. Discord is just being a little weird.
That's okay. No problem.
You back?
I'm back.
All right. Well,
Yep.
I'm back.
Did you ask if there was anything weird about the room? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as you can tell, no. The path seemed the same as when you first came that way, and now you're back where the river were that you crossed, and that looks the same as it was before. The river's very loud. As you walk through the passageway, you could hear the river getting louder. You come back into this space. You see the river to your right that you crossed. It looks the same as before.
All right, so we keep.
Yeah.
So we've already covered this area as much as we could. So we keep going back a bit.
Yeah, that's right.
And then
Unless someone wanted to brave going through the river holes.
I would advise against that.
I'll follow your advice.
Okay.
So you head back down the path that you first took here, and you end up back in the space where that flat wall was. From heading from the way you came here, you can turn left to go back out the cave to where Brandon was, or you can continue going ahead of you to a new area.
To the down.
Yeah, exactly, down. Yeah.
Down. We'll go down.
Yeah, I say we try that area.
Cool. Okay. So the passageway leads a little bit. The passageway slopes slightly downwards, and then eventually opens up to a very large and quiet cavern. The space here is much wider, and the ceiling is much taller. At the other side, there is a large pool that is being fed by a stream of water coming from an arched gap in the back of the cavern wall. In front of the pool, there is a damaged boat. It's kind of long, like a canoe, and except for the entrance in the back of the wall where the water's coming in, quite gently, the cavern appears to be a dead end.
Hmm. What do you both think?
Wait, clear up the scene for me one more time.
Yeah, you're in a wide cavern with a tall ceiling. At the other end of the cavern, from where you are, there is a pool of water. The water is being fed by a light stream from a hole in the back of the cavern wall. Before the pool, on the rocky ground, there is a boat that's kind of long, like a canoe that's clearly broken. Looking around the cavern space, you see no other entrances.
Can I inspect the boat and just the area around it?
Sure, yep. So
Can
Risk
you
goes
also
off to.
see? Can you also see how deep the water is?
Okay.
And then Charlotte, are you waiting where you are then as Risk goes off to investigate?
There was a hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's at the other end of the pool of water.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah. And Varys?
Yeah, I wait as well. I
Okay.
I keep my axe at the ready.
Cool. So the ever curious Riss ventures forward. You see the boat is about 3 meters long. It's like a canoe. It's got holes in it, so it clearly would leak if you put it into water. But it's quite long and still somewhat sturdy. Lifting up and looking underneath, you don't see anything inside there or underneath it or anything.
Okay. I guess I go back and just let them know that there wasn't much to find with that.
How deep is the water?
Yeah. Can I stick my spear in there to measure again?
Sure, yeah. You go over to the pool and you take out your spear and you kind of poke the spear in and you find it's quite deep. As you look to see how far your spear goes, you see a form slowly rising up from below the surface.
Oh boy.
I quickly take my spear out and run back to where everybody else is at.
And I ready my. If I when I see her backing up, I ready my with an axe.
Sure. Riss, yeah, you leg it back to your companions, and then you all watch to see what happens. And this a head pops up from the water, and then kind of looks around and sees you. And then this woman, it's actually Varys, as a bard, you might know what this is. This is a Morgan. It's a mermaid-like fae. The woman kind of looks around and sees you all and says, "Oh no, don't run away. Come back. I haven't seen anyone for a while." And she kind of swims to the edge of the pool and like rests her arms on the edge of it. and asks, "What brings you here?"
We're looking for one of our fellow villagers, Halen. He was here to repair a sealing stone. Have you seen him?
She ponders for a moment, um, scratches her temple, and she says, "I might have some information you seek, but it won't be free."
I'm gonna look at my ability.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll use the socialite, the introduce.
Yeah,
Yes, I'll use that.
sure. So what that says is that um, so you can make a formal introduction. So her ability for the others of you, her ability says introduce, and the rules is make a formal introduction to increase the patience of those you parlay with by one, and uncover a personal aspect of theirs. Check spirit. So personal aspects are the personalities. So NPCs also have the same personalities that you guys have, and you can use them when you're talking to them to try and figure out what they want, and also to use them against them as well. For example, if you know someone is timid, then you kind of push on that and try and intimidate them, and that will work better than if they were valiant or if they were reckless, for example. Um, and also, when you're having a conversation with an NPC and you're asking them to do something that they don't want to do, then they have a patience that they can run out of when you're talking with them, and your ability allows you to raise that. So yeah, so you can make a formal introduction, and then we'll make a check for you. So how do you introduce yourselves as a socialite and your friends?
Well, I won't introduce them because I don't
Okay,
have permission to. I'll just introduce myself.
sure.
I'll take one step closer
Hmm.
and give a polite nod and bow and greet and introduce myself as. Would I know anything about Fae and how to interact with them growing up in the village and things I should be wary of or no?
Not particularly. That being polite as you're doing now can help. Um, you do hear of stories of people talking to the Fae, and if things go wrong, then things can go very wrong. There's those kind of stories. Um, you might have also heard that the Fae are tricksy, but also that they're also benevolent, and sometimes the spirits of your ancestor that are trying to help you. So it's kind of a mixed bag.
My name is Charlotte, and my companions and I are seeking what my companion already mentioned. We seek no trouble at all, and if you can help us, it would be greatly appreciated in any way.
Cool. Uh, does anyone want to add to that?
No, I just do
Um,
a polite nod of the head and a small bow towards the Fae.
I just say a short hello.
Cool. Then, uh, Charlotte, you can make your check. Just take one card, and this is a spirit check. So you're hoping for black cards, and the difficulty is 0. So we're looking for anything more than 0. Okay. Unfortunately, that is not so great. you had a you had at least a 50-50 chance of doing good there. Um, and the one trick here is that when you're interacting with people, you can't exert yourself. That isn't something that you can't make a success happen when you're talking to other
No,
people.
it's just like
Uh,
me better.
yeah, exactly. You try and you kind of like tense your muscles and like stare at them even more.
And they're
It
like,
doesn't.
"Wow, I'm so impressed."
Yeah. So um, I'm afraid your ability fails, but your ability doesn't use up supply or anything like that, so you haven't lost anything. Um,
Good.
she looks very enigmatic to you. You kind of look at her and you can't quite figure her out. Um, so you gain nothing from uh, your training in the ways of diplomacy. Don't seem to be immediately helping you here.
All right.
Well, it was a good try.
It is. There you go.
Yeah, I am anxiously anticipating the Fae to speak again.
She says, "You said you're looking for something, a stone."
A sealing stone.
I may have seen it. If you made it worth my while, um, I might have something I know about that.
And how can we make it worth your while?
She says, "Well, I don't really get to leave here much, and I often enjoy the finer things of life. If you can give me something that I might not be able to find here, I can add it to my collection." And B, when you looked in the pool earlier, you might have seen a few glints of shiny things at the bottom of it.
Ooh. Is it possible for no? What could we give her?
Well, let's see. What do I have? I
Wait, how? As a socialite, will you have like jewelry and stuff?
So yes, I'm going to approach her and I'll show her my makeup
Mm-hmm.
and whatever jewelry trinkets I have. And I
Okay.
tell them these come from my family and my village. And I will
She,
show her how the makeup works.
cool. She's already quite strikingly beautiful, although she has kind of like strange fish-like features as well, gills and frills that come off the side of her face. But she's um, somewhat interested um, until she realizes. She asks, "Well, does it come off in water?"
Well, at the time, depending on the material, it would be very hard to come off in water. It might be tacky, so I don't know how that would, because makeup gets very tacky
Yeah.
depending on the material. So, and I tell her some of it has come off, but some of it has stayed. So you'd have to explore and see which one you like.
Okay. You know, I dig it. Um, you can remove one supply from your inventory, and then you can hand over some of your makeup to her, and she starts playing with it quite eagerly, um, and begins to paint some of the stones around the pool, as well as on her face slightly. And she says, "You can ask one question."
What should we ask you guys?
we need to ask her where the stone is, because while I would very much like to find Halen, the sealing stone is of greater import right now.
Exactly. So, where is the sealing stone?
She says, "It's through the door. Can't you see it?" And she kind of motions to the passageway that you guys came from.
Oh,
Through that door.
Guys, I think we should have went in and then went right back out. Because clearly, when we were trying to find a way out before, we were just going in circles. So should we try to leave outside again?
The
yeah.
face says, the Morgan says, "Oh, don't go yet. I mean, if you have anything else you'd like to give me, um, I have some other things that you might want to know."
Okay, do I have anything interesting on me at all?
Are you asking me or are you asking yourself?
I'm asking you. I'm not entirely sure, like if I would have any fun knickknacks or if I have like a small instrument with me, like a flute or
Oh,
something.
yeah, no, you have an instrument, that's for sure, but then you'd be kind of like giving up your profession kit, I would say, for that. You do have some silvers, um, which are shiny and worth something. Um, I know that Charlotte has some scrolls, but I'm pretty sure she doesn't want to get rid of those. And Riss,
I
you gone?
I'm asked to be the bone.
Yes, and Riss has the bone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no.
So, should I go ahead and give her the bone for another question?
Like, are you asking us Iceely?
Well, here's the thing though. Before we do that, do we understand what she means when she says, "If you look over there through the door, do you see it?" Do we actually see it or no?
Yeah, because I looked.
Yeah, no, you can't see anything. She said the doors. She said the door was through there. Did you not see it? And you, as far as you can tell, you haven't seen anything that's door-like. You've just seen passageways and rocky things.
Oh, I look at her. There's no, I haven't seen a door. Could you describe it to me, if that's
Uh,
okay?
she she says, "Well, it would be colourful, of course."
Colorful.
And
And
Like,
she
we haven't
continues
seen
to.
and for sure we haven't seen any colorful door since we started, right?
That's right, yeah. And then she continues to play with the makeup that you gave her.
yeah, we haven't seen any colorful doors, but we have seen some very colorful mushrooms.
Mm. She's kind of waiting.
Were the mushrooms like on a line, or were they sort of in a square?
They were kind of just in a little group, yeah.
All right.
And I show her the mushrooms.
She looks up and says, "Oh, I don't need those. They grow around here."
All right. So probably nothing to do with those. Hopefully.
She says, "But if you'd like to know about them, you could give me something else."
You can show her the bone.
Okay. I go ahead and show her the bone.
She says, "Ooh, now where did you find this?"
In a
I found
chest.
it. It was pretty cool.
She says, "Yes, it is quite nice. If you were to give me this, um, I would answer. I would permit you another question."
All right. I try to like uh, motion the others to like huddle in with me.
Yeah, huddle time.
yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Yes, I huddle with you.
Okay. We need to ask her for directions to the doorway or to the door. Okay? Nothing
Yes.
I
else.
think she should tell us to do the same thing again where she says over there.
Yeah, but you need to be more specific. That's the problem. Because if you asked her, for instance, if you started with, could you give us directions to the door? She would say yes or no, depending on whether or not she could give us directions. Do you see? And then that's a question wasted. So you have to be very specific, and and tell her to give us specific directions to where
To
it
the
is.
door.
Yes.
And what my character will do is kind of indicate for you to ask, since your character seems to have like a good grasp on it, to interact with the mermaid,
Oh,
with the fae.
oh okay. Yeah.
So I'm just
Be
going to
our
give you the bone.
inquisitor.
I'm going to give you the bone, and you can then ask the question.
All right.
Okay? Here you
Okay.
go.
Thank you. I take the bone and walk over to the Fae and crouch down a little bit to hand it to her.
And she says, "Thank you. This will be great in my collection. What is it that you want to ask?"
You're welcome. Uh, I would like direct directions to the door, please.
She says, "I haven't been through it for a while. I don't know exactly where it is, but I will answer your question in another way. In that, I will tell you that if you if you eat the mushrooms that you took, you'll be able to see the door.
Ah, thank you. I appreciate it.
I always knew it was in drugs. Always the drugs.
All right. Well, I look to Riss and Charlotte. So can I have one of the mushrooms?
I hand you one of the mushrooms.
Thank you.
We pop one in the mouth.
Cool. Let me check my notes on popping mushrooms in mouth.
Specific notes.
Because this doesn't always happen. Where's the mushroom notes? Got that one second. Just need to find them. Mushrooms. If a player eats one of the mushroom caps, okay.
We
After
die.
no, you're okay.
Just immediate death.
Actually, I need to change this one sec. The room, although dark and dim before, becomes a little bit more bright. Everything becomes more vivid. And then you feel a little bit giddy as well. Everything seems just a little bit funnier than it was before. Yep, and no adverse effects as of yet.
All right. Well, I observe Riss for like 30 seconds to a minute just to see if there's any like immediate distress before I eat my mushroom cap.
Yeah, it's like Riss would probably look around, and for Riss, for you, it's like the saturation is just turned up. All the contrast, all the colors just seem brighter. And you, if you're the giggly type, you probably start giggling.
I'm
I too
giggling
will. I too will take a bite of the mushroom.
Yeah, and you experienced a similar thing, and the Morgan looks on in interest.
And now I'm looking for the door, walking around.
She says that it would be through. Again, she points to the passageway. She says it's back there. But again, before you know, there's more that I know. If there's more that you can give, it'd be a shame to see you go so soon. She says.
Well,
Did we ask about the dude?
Let me see what else I have. We gave the bone, I gave the makeup, I showed her the trinkets, but she didn't seem interested in the trinkets I had.
We still have the money.
The money.
yeah, that's true. We do have some money.
You can show her some silver coins and see if she's interested.
I will show her the silver coins we have.
She says. she kind of like recoils a little bit for a second.
No, silver. Yeah.
I take a minute to go. No, it's silver. It's not iron. It's okay.
She says, no, it's all right. If you were to throw a few of those into the pool, then I could permit you one more question.
All right. How about we throw in 1 silver each, since we should be able to afford that.
I'll throw 1 silver each.
Okay.
Yeah, I throw one of my 2 silvers in as well.
Cool. She says, then you have another question.
All right. Who would like to ask it this time?
I guess I'll go and ask.
Go ahead,
Right?
B.
Okay. Player. What was the person's name again?
Halen.
Thank you. Okay. So we would like to know if you have seen our friend Halen anywhere.
She says, a human?
Yes.
A human man.
She says, I haven't seen him, though I have seen a curious pet pass through here recently.
Okay.
Can you specify?
It looks like a rabbit.
Oh my gosh, was he turned into a rabbit?
That's a real possibility.
So we'll keep an eye out for a rabbit then.
Yeah, if we find one, we'll take it back with us. Well, since both Riz and Charlotte seem to be okay, I eat my mushroom cap.
Yeah, they're still fine. Nothing's happened in the past 15 minutes.
Up a mess.
Yeah. Erin, it just seems a bit funnier. And the same thing happens to you, Varys. You see colors more vividly, and things that tickled you before tickle you further.
My hair must be looking really good today.
Yeah, your hair looks freaking fantastic. Damn, it radiates. It's glowing. Yeah, that's right.
So before we leave to go do what we actually came here to do, I thank the Fae, and I actually tell her that I will make an effort to come and visit her, so she's not so lonely.
She says, I would appreciate that. And again, before you go, if you have more gifts, I always have more knowledge.
I will keep that in mind. Thank you.
She nods and then plays with her trinkets that you're giving her. And by that, I mean, you didn't give her your trinkets you said before. Sorry, I just meant like the makeup and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right, we go find the door.
Yeah. I bid a polite farewell to the mermaid.
Bye, pretty lady.
She says, "Huil," and you don't know what that means.
Did she just cuss us?
No, it just means goodbye in Welsh. You're fine.
All right, we go find the door.
Yeah. So you move through the passageway, and I'm going to check fate one more time. It has been some time, and I'm hoping, come on, some. Yes, great, cool.
Oh no, a bolt that just rolls down and squashes us immediately.
Yeah.
Wait, it's a red Joker, not a black Joker, though.
Doesn't matter red or black. If a Joker
Okay, got
dies, it's guaranteed. The color actually tells me what happens. There's a few different things that can happen.
Got it.
It lets me know what's going on. So we've got also when we get a Joker or when the deck runs out, we shuffle all the cards back in again. Jokers are really important as well. When you're making checks, they count as the best possible suits for you or the worst possible suit, depending on their color. So picking a Joker pretty much always means a critical success or a critical failure if it's the opposite color. Where are we going? So we got red Joker, correct? Then
Yes.
Oh, you're as you move through the passageway, the cave groans and shakes. You have a split second to react. What do you do?
I moved towards the area she said to go to.
Okay.
Look forward.
Yeah,
What did you?
I guess I follow Riz.
I follow his too.
I don't want to stand in here while the ceiling comes down on us.
Yeah. So it's funny you said the rock falls down. That's exactly what's going to happen. That's what fate decided. Yeah. So you were right. Anyone who's not undercover, which is all of you, rocks and stalactites begin to fall from the ceiling. I need you all to make an agility check with a difficulty of 0. So you need to get 1 or more. So each needs you to flip a card, and you're hoping for red. Diamonds is best.
Come on. Oh, okay.
Yay!
It was at least red this time.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Oh, rip.
Who got the black card?
That was me. That
It
was
was
Charlotte.
you. And you're agility 0. Okay, cool. So you fail. You two are fine. Oh wait, Riss has a -1 to agility. What card did you pull, Riss?
That's the queen. She
Oh,
isn't
okay,
worried.
cool. So
Yeah.
the queen saved you, perfect for you, and
Yeah.
then Varys is fine as well. Cool. So you guys are fine.
Yay.
You leap forward, nimbly dodge some rocks that are falling from above you. Nessa, you are going to take some damage, and it will be 5 damage
Right.
as before. Your armor is low. Yeah, you have 3, I'm afraid. So you can either become wounded, again, avoid, or you can exert yourself, or you can break your armor.
I'll exert myself to avoid the damage, right? That's how it
Yeah,
works?
yeah, that's
Yes.
exactly how it works. So you mark on the right hand side of your attributes. There's condition boxes there. The top one is exerted. There's a box next to it. You can check that to mark that you're exerted. And then basically, the last moment you kind of jump to one side and land awkwardly on your back, but you're unharmed, as you definitely avoid this boulder that just kind of fell from the roof above you. The room stops shaking and everything seems fine.
Oh wow.
My agility may be low, but that luck is high.
Yeah, and you're still high. That's right. So you continue moving through the passage, and you end up where you came from the entrance, where that flat wall was. Except now it no longer appears as a flat wall. It has a rainbow of spitting colors, and in the middle of it, there seems some kind of like liquid, kind of swirling around with all these varieties of colors. And it doesn't make a noise. It just sits there swirling.
I'm gonna touch it, guys. That thing's pretty.
Touch it. Do
Oh.
it.
So
Well, we
you
I
touch.
run.
you're gone.
I just run towards it. My hand is out, ready to touch it.
Nice.
Oh.
Your hand kind of just reaches through it. It feels a little bit warm, and on the other side, it's very cool. So where your hand passes through, it's warm, and then on the other side, it's very cold and cool.
Guys, I'm going all the way in. And I just jump through.
Nice. Wrist jumps through.
All right. Well, I suppose this is where we're supposed to go, so I follow cautiously.
I follow as well.
Cool. You all step through and find each other on the other side. Stepping through, you find a dark purple swamp. It stretches as far as you can see in other directions. There's strange colors here in the swamp and the grasses. The grasses are kind of purple and green and yellow hues. The night sky above you. It was daylight where you were before, but here there's a clear night sky with a myriad of stars, like there's 100 galaxies above you. The, what you stepped through is a glowing rainbow behind you is still there, and it's positioned between 2 gnarled trees. There's a bunch of gnarled trees here and there in the swamp around you. There's some bushes and other dead trees, and then ahead of you there's a clearing with 5 piles of stones that come to about waist height, and they're about 2 meters wide. Beyond the stone, the swamp stretches further into a low-hanging mist.
Hmm. Well, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that easy to find it, unfortunately. Where do you suppose we go?
How big is the space again? One more time.
The To your right and left, the swamp just stretches out as far as you can see until it kind of gets lost in a mist.
Oh
This
boy.
mist kind of like surrounds the whole area. Um, the sky is black with stars. The ground and the waters that the swamp around you are strange colors. And ahead of you, there's a clearing with the piles of stones.
Let's head towards the stones.
Yeah, well, it seems as good a place as any to start.
So, and it's pretty dim in there, right? It's pretty dark.
No, the place seems not well lit, but it's light enough that you can see quite far away. You're not sure
Okay.
where the light's coming from. It might be coming from the swamp itself. It seems a bit strange.
Okay.
You don't need your torch anymore.
Fair enough. I'll start
How-
walking around the area around me, the closest vicinity, and start looking down. Since it's a stone, it might be laying on the floor, so that's where I'll first look at.
Okay. So Charlotte's gonna look around the door. Ferris and Riss.
I follow, but also, what would our stone even look like? Are we just going to hope for the best here, guys?
Our elder described what the stone did look like.
Yeah, she said it was about only half a meter tall. It's quite a small, round, plump stone, and it has designs carved into it that are sigils that are painted with paint to basically cast a spell. You wouldn't mistake it for a regular stone.
Okay, good.
Earlier you said that I was looking around the door. I just said the ground on the floor. Like,
Oh, sure. Okay,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
fine.
Well, I start again cautiously making my way over to where there are rocks,
Hmm.
just to see if it's anywhere over there.
Cool. Would you say you're just moving very carefully and slowly and sneakily, or just moving very carefully and slowly?
Careful, slowly, and sneakily. I don't want to be surprised by anything in here.
Okay. And Riss?
I go to where the stones are at, but it's not like the same. The Varus is more of me rushing over there to try to see if we can find the rock pretty fast.
Okay, cool. So then, uh, Varus, can you make a quick agility check? And are you moving quickly and like stealthy towards it, or are you actually actively trying to hide, moving between like rocks and bushes and trees and things like that?
I'm actively trying to hide.
Okay, then take another card for using your environment to help you out. So take two cards, flip them, and you're hoping for diamonds and red cards.
Okay.
Nice. So that is a critical. That's our first critical success.
Yay!
Yay! We did it.
I did
Clap, clap, clap.
it.
And the funny thing is that this is the first that this hasn't happened as of yet. But when you critically succeed, either something epic happens, or like when you're attacking someone, you do double damage and things like that, or you gain what is called an edge. And this is the first time we've got an edge, which is crazy. An edge is a face
Awesome.
down card that represents a gain of momentum and a favorable position for yourself. And you take that face down card and place it in front of you. And then any check that you're involved with, you can use that card as an advantage. Or any check you help an ally with, you can give it to them as well as an advantage. And any check that's made against you, you can use it to disadvantage that check as well. So you get to cash that in whenever you like. You don't get to look at it though, so you don't know what it is. You also get an edge if you fail a check, but everyone who's failed a check so far has then exerted themselves to make it a success instead. So we haven't actually had that happen yet.
Right.
And when you fail, basically you do achieve a little bit. You don't do what you want, but you gain some kind of advantage. So take a card from the deck and just place it in one of these slots.
I'm gonna put it in player 2.
Yeah, that's where you are. Yeah, exactly. Cool. So yeah, you definitely hide yourself amongst the bushes. You sneak your way forward to the stones. Wrist bounds ahead though. Charlotte, you look around the doorway, and you don't find anything particular on the ground. Again, the grasses and the waters here are colored strangely. If you do look around the trees that the doorway is in, you'll see from the other side that the doorway is not there. And the swamp just keeps going on in the other direction. Riss, you reach the stone mounds, and you see that they're clearly like makeshift huts. There's like an archway built into the stones in the front of all of them, facing towards the center of this clearing. And the archways are about knee high, very small. Yeah.
All right.
If I notice that there's significant distance between me and the rest of the party,
Mhm.
I'll actually start looking. I'll continue looking, but I'll head towards Mel's character. Name escapes
Oh,
me.
as far
Yes.
as you can tell, Varys has disappeared.
Oh, Varys has disappeared?
Yeah. But you can see Riss in the clearing, approaching the rocks.
I'll head over to where Riss is while keeping an eye out.
Cool. And Riss, what do you do with all these stones around you? These little huts?
I don't touch them because I don't know what could happen if I do. But I
Mhm.
kind of look around for any that have some type of writing on them.
Sure. So you're just looking around all the huts, looking for some writing?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, let me just check my notes quickly. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, you begin looking around the huts. Varys, do you stay hidden?
Yes.
Yeah. Charlotte begins to approach, and eventually, Riss, when you come across the hut that's furthest from the doorway you came through, are you looking inside the huts or are you just looking around them? You said you're just looking around them, right?
I'm looking around. I look inside if I can.
I mean, you can, but are you?
Yeah, I'm going to do that as well.
Okay, cool. So the first hut that you look inside, you won't see any markings around the hut, they're just stones. But looking inside it, you see a small wooden cage with a rabbit inside.
Guys, I think I found a rabbit.
I rush over to you.
Yeah, she'll let you arrive. You still don't know where Varys is, but you see Riss looking inside one of the huts.
Uh, I I guess I like move, continue moving like slowly towards where they are, so that
Mhm.
we can at least be within speaking distance. Because I don't want to shout.
Okay, sure. You want to whisper from some bushes? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. I'm
Yeah,
sitting
yeah.
there. I'm like, I don't want to go out there. I
Okay.
don't know what's gonna happen.
I
So,
I desperately need to go use the bathroom quickly. We're
Absolutely.
we're coming to the end of this now, so it won't be too much longer. If people have places to be, we'll be wrapping up soon. But I will be back in 1 minute.
all right. Um, when he comes back, I want to tap at the cage in like in a certain rhythm to see if the rabbit will tap back in the same rhythm.
To
I
see if
wonder,
it's like it's smart.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
like, are you secretly human? Tell me.
I'm sorry if you're hearing any noises. I'm eating mostly ice cream.
I shall be right back. I smell some type of burning. One
Oh,
sec.
oh boy.
How you enjoying the game so far, Mal?
I'm having a lot of fun. How about you?
Oh, I'm having a blast. This is so good.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like it's really interesting trying a new system out.
Okay,
So
I'm
Mal,
back. I
what's your
just.
flaw?
Oh, go. Sorry, B. What are you saying?
I was asking Mal what his flaw was.
Oh, what my flaw is? You're not supposed to know that.
Ooh.
Maybe after the session finishes, you could.
I'll say
Yeah.
after we're done.
So I have made
Back.
a grave, not a grave error, but I made a mistake. Charlotte, earlier, when you failed with your socialite check with the Fae, I was supposed to give you an edge for your failure. You still earned you still gained something from your attempt. You get to keep that
Okay.
now, and you can still use that for other things in the future. But
So I just pull a card down?
yeah, exactly. Pull a card down, stick it in the slot there, and you can cash that in for whenever.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my bad. Cool. So Reese has just looked inside and found the little rabbit hutch. And Varys has moved closer and is kind of sneaking from the bushes. I'd say you're close enough to kind of call out a little bit. And Charlotte has just came up to find Riss as well. Riss, what do you do?
I take out a carrot. My bad. Use a supply for this one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I try to give it to the rabbit.
Like through the hutch kind of cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. It kind of as soon as it sees you, kind of reach in, it bounds forwards and it knocks the like your gift to one side and kind of like tries to force its head through the cage as if it wants to escape.
Well then.
I say as low as I possibly can from inside the bushes. Did you find it?
Well, it didn't like my gift, rude little thing. I could turn you into stew.
Don't do that. Just get it out. Do you need my help?
Yeah.
Thump.
Yes.
I speak to the rabbit. Thump twice if you can understand me.
It thumps twice.
Thump once for yes, thump twice for no.
Oh no, we're going to be here for a while now. I should have allowed this.
No. One question.
God.
Just one question.
Yeah.
What the character's name? The other guy that we're looking for.
Halen.
Yeah.
Are you Halen?
It thumps once for yes.
That's it. That's all we need to know.
Yeah. Cool.
And I opened the cage.
Yeah, you kind of just like it's very small, but it can fit through the entrance. It's not really like an intricately designed cage with hinges and things. You'd have to pull it out and kind of break it apart, kind of thing. But you can do that.
And as I open the cage, I trust that you can turn back or no.
Sorry, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Turn back.
He was a person, right? But he's a rabbit now. Like,
oh, you mean take him out of the cage? Does he turn back? No, he
like,
doesn't.
Okay. I open my arm for him to find safety in my arms, or if he just wants to scamper around with us, that's fine. But he's free now.
He's free now. And as you break open the cage, you hear the buzz of fluttering wings, and then orange blurs appear around you suddenly and rapidly, getting closer. They then stop, and you see 6 creatures. They are small fox. They're small fox-like creatures with a sparkling mark and horns on their heads, and they flutter above the ground with the wings of a dragonfly. They hold sticks kind of menacingly, and then they ask you who you are, and then giggle. So there's a like little orange fur fox creatures that are about the size of the size of the entrances to this place, about the size of you up to your knee or your forearm to your hand. They're not very big. They kind of have like a glint in their eye, the sparkly thing on their forehead, and these little horns, and they flutter with dragonfly wings. And they hold these sticks and they ask you who you are. What are they doing? What are you doing here?
I'm still hidden, right?
Yes, you are. They don't see you.
All right. Well, I'm staying in there for now.
I'm a companion of your captor, and I just released him.
They giggle, and then one of them says, well, that's not very nice. He's being punished.
What did he do?
He. One sec, let me just check. He wronged us. Yeah, that's what they would say. He wronged us.
How did he wrong you?
We can't say. And now we can enter into a parlay. And if you want to, necessarily, you can try and use your ability again to formally introduce yourselves if you want to try and gain an advantage here. When you're in a parlay, basically they have reasons why they're not doing as you ask, which is giving you the information, and your job is to try and figure them out and figure out about them and try and convince them otherwise. Basically, you can either incentivize them with other reasons or kind of eliminate their objections by addressing them. If you can find out what they are, you can also make checks if you want to try and learn about them, to try and figure out what they're like your ability you're going to use now if you want to learn about their personality like you guys have. Yeah, it's up to you.
I will use my ability then.
Yeah, sure. So you can make a spirit check. If you want to, you can use your edge that you have as well to have advantage for it.
Yes, I'll do that.
Sure.
But first I pull out like the card from the deck, right? That first.
You take the first one from there, and then you take no. You have to use it beforehand. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. So you just take your card from your slot as well, put that up there, and turn that over as well. Cool. Yeah. So this one is spades. You're looking for spirits. So that's a +2 for you. It's double because it's spades, and then your spirit's already high, right? You have a +1, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, so that's a +3, so that is a success. So I'm going to increase their patience here that I have a note of, and they run out of patience when you guys fail with checks when talking to them and things like that. And also, as you're talking to them, you realize I'll tell you that, well, maybe it's a bit obvious. I won't tell you that one because that one might be quite obvious right now. I will say that the virtue is benevolence. They are benevolent, somewhat.
Okay.
So as you introduce yourself, or how do you introduce yourself? I should have done that first.
I introduce myself politely, with my first name Charlotte, but I still want to not be like as nice as I was with the mermaid, but still polite enough and stern enough that we're here for a purpose and we need to get something done.
Yeah. So they'll say, we are Bubach, which is spelled BWBACH, Bubach, and they say we didn't hurt him, but he's being punished.
And when they say that, when they mention that they didn't hurt him, I soften my tone a bit and I say, I appreciate you not hurting him. Now, back to what he did, because there must be some resolution we can reach. Can you tell me anything so that we may resolve this somehow?
Sure, we'll put a pin in that. Riss, what are you doing?
I think I'm getting my carrot back. I grab that back, and I kind of step forward and ask them if they had turned him into the rabbit as the punishment.
You asked them if they turned him into the rabbit. That's the punishment. That's your question? Yeah. They will giggle and say yes. And Varys, what are you doing? Are you listening keenly?
Yes, I'm listening.
Yeah, cool. Okay. And Nessa, Charlotte, remind me what your question was again.
The question was, what can we do to resolve this? That's what I say before Riz's question. If talk again after Riz's question, then I'll
Sure.
say something else.
Sorry. So before there's a question, they'll say, and you're asking about resolve with with Halen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. They
Since he is
say, with Halen, what to resolve? They will say, one sec, just checking my notes. They say, if you leave the door open, then you can have him back.
I see.
And then Risk asks about being the rabbit the punishment, and they say yes.
Well, if you already punished him, then what other punishment is there to have?
I'm not sure what you mean. Sorry.
Because they're capturing him. He did something,
Yeah.
so they want to punish him. But they already punished him by turning him into something. So what other punishment is there for him to have since he's already been punished by this?
Are you asking if it's okay if you take him as a rabbit? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying, why punish him further if you've already punished him? We should be able to take him.
They will look at each other, and I'm not sure what they'll say to that, so I'm gonna have you make a check.
All right. I'm trying to be logical about it, like, because
yeah.
want.
No, that makes sense to me. So while you're making these checks, while you're talking, you can look at your personal aspects and then see if you invoke any of them in a way while you're talking, then they might help you.
What do you mean by personal aspects? And
your personality, so your motivation, your virtue, and your flaw.
Well, I am benevolent like they are, and
and you know that as well. Yeah, and that's what you're doing right now, right? You're trying to appeal to the sense of good, right?
yes.
Yeah, perfect. So you'll get an advantage for that, for example. So yeah, you can make your check with 2 cards, and we'll again say you're appealing to the goodwill. So we'll say it's spirit again. Cool, nice. So that's a +1. That is a success. They say, they'll look at each other and giggle again, and they'll say, as long as he's a rabbit, he's being punished. You can have him.
All right.
Is it possible to ask him about our other friend who died?
I think we should ask him about the stone.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, let's do that.
In turn, I approached them. Thank you so much for your kindness in letting us keep our companion. I was wondering if you've seen a sealing stone around here.
They immediately begin giggling. And you're still high from the mushrooms as well, and the giggling's a little bit infectious, and you might start giggling as well.
Oh no, does it
All
affect
right.
me?
You know what? That's a great question. I'm going to make you make a check for that.
Oh,
Really yeah, thank you.
love to fuck myself over by
No,
mentioning that I'm still here.
Yeah, but that's wonderful, though, right? That's the fun of this stuff.
All right, I'm clicking.
I don't know what check to give you, though. That's the thing.
Oh god damn it. Okay.
You actually used it for suppress giggling. I haven't considered that. Is it somewhat physical? Or is this more mental? I think it's more mental.
Yeah, I would say it's more mental.
Yeah, I would say the spirit. That's endurance, mental endurance.
Okay, should I take a new card then?
I will allow you, considering that we already know that that's red. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sure. You can. I'm saying I will allow you to take another card.
Oh, okay.
Well,
okay.
I prefer the tension of not knowing.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, you're good. That's a +2. Nice. So you suppress the giggles.
I'm trying so fucking hard not to laugh. Just like in my bush, like, oh no, oh.
and I try even though I'm giggling, I'm trying my subtle giggle, like, because I've been raised to be a lady, so I'm trying to not let it get too crazy.
Right. Yeah.
just a wild child who does some scientific stuff, so I'm giggling.
Riz does not care. Sorry, Charlotte, remind me of your question again. I got the
So
giggles.
if they've seen the ceiling stone.
Oh, yeah, if it's in the Sinstone. Yeah, oh, they looked at each other and giggled. That was the response. Now I remember
Yeah.
how we got here. They don't say anything.
All right, so I'm staying silent in the bushes, but my thought is that they've taken it, like removed it, if that's possible.
Can we now ask about our other dead friend now?
I mean, they're dead. Seems
Yeah,
like
but we could ask who killed him.
you know,
Sure.
you spirits. Would they be fae spirits?
They're Fae, aren't they?
Yeah, they're kind of the same thing. The Fae are like reincarnated spirits, but there are also other like spirits that you might find like ghosts kind of around. So these are physical. They're like creatures. Yeah.
Let me see how I can address this. Unless it's not very nice to take things from where they are, and you have all been very generous and kind. Are you sure you don't know where it is?
Mm. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have you make another check. You're kind of like appealing to like their righteousness. But before you make the check, I'm gonna ask Riss if she wants to add anything.
B?
Nah, nah. Probably got this. Right. Independent woman, we don't need on this.
Sorry, what was that? I didn't catch that.
Um, I think I'm just gonna wait for them to answer her first.
Okay,
That's like,
cool. That's fine.
You want me to pull a card?
Yes, I'll just have you pull a card, and we're hoping for black cards. Cool, nice. Yeah, it's a +1. That's a success. Um, they say that they say we need the door. We need the door open.
what for?
Mm. They say, well, to leave, to come and go, to look for food, and they all giggle at the sound of the idea of food. Um, and they say, well, if it's closed, we can't leave.
Can
That
my
makes sense.
character can my character put two and two together, and they're basically saying that they want the stone because that way the door's open.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because the seal is open.
yeah. B, you were going to say something?
Uh, I think I would just be like, sounds like reasonable stuff to me. And then I guess I'll turn to Scarlet and I'm going to um I'm going to say, is there anything we could do to try to keep it where we can still get the stone back, but there's still like some type of room for them to come and go for food?
Sorry, was you asking me or was you asking?
I think it was Scarlet. I was asking Scarlet if she knew.
Well, this is what I'm thinking. I'm going to speak to them.
Mhm.
Well, the monitoring of a door is very important for us. I know you wish it to have it open, but it may be necessary to have it closed. However, is there any offerings that we may bring you from time to time to appease the closing?
Okay, yeah, we'll make a check for that definitely. Riss, is there anything you think you could add to help out Charlotte with that, or Varys even?
Uh,
Well, I
I
don't.
take the food and I give it to them.
Sorry, what did you say, Riss?
I take out the carrot I have and give it to them.
The the Kier? Sorry, I'm not hearing what you said there.
The carrot.
The Kier.
The
What's
carrot,
Kier?
I think.
Oh, the carrot.
Yeah,
Sorry, ever so sorry. So just some food, yeah.
yeah.
Right, that's just an
And be
accent.
like,
Yeah.
That's my
yeah,
bad.
somewhat this.
Yeah, cool, sweet. Yeah, yeah. You take out the food and show them that you have food to offer, and something that's nice. That'll definitely help. Yeah. And Varys, what are you going to say? I'm guessing you're going to say that jumping out from the bushes and saying hello it probably isn't going to help. But I
Exactly,
still,
exactly. Because I'm like, oh, hello. I've been
yeah,
hiding the entire time. Would you like to speak with me? Like, I'm thinking that they might not be happy about that.
yeah, that's okay. I have to ask just in case you have some wild ideas. I don't know.
I mean,
Uh,
I'm considering it constantly, but I
yeah,
think that it's in our interest that I just stay in my bush.
yeah, yeah. That's fine. Cool. So yeah, B, you offer over the food as well, and that'll definitely help. So Charlotte, you can um, take an advantage for B helping you, and I think you're being benevolent again. So I'm going to give you another advantage for your virtue. So you can take 3 cards total.
Sorry, did not
Nah, it's
mean to.
okay. It's all right. You can drag it out and then take another one as well. I think we're looking good, and then flip them all. Cool. Well, that one was the one you needed. So yeah, that's a +2. That's another success. Cool. They kind of huddle up for a second. They kind of flutter together with the foxy little fur and the little bellies touching each other. Basically, they round a little
So cute.
circle, and they kind of emerge again, and they say, uh, if if when you close the stone, um, you bring us food and fruits, um, then we will we will allow you to close it, as long as you as long as you only tend to the stone twice a year and uh, bring us berries and fruits when you do so, um, then we have an agreement.
I give them a big smile and nod, and we have an agreement then.
Cool. They
Okay.
all cheer.
Oh, that's cute. I I'm trying to like telepathically uh tell my companions to ask them to turn fucking Halen back since we have a deal with them now. But yeah, I'll just sit quietly.
I hold on. I'm taking them because technically he's still being punished. Halen here is fantastic at gathering and finding the best fruits and vegetables and treats. Turn
Nice.
He'll be a great scavenger for you.
Cool. That will definitely not. I mean, that's definitely can work, is what I'm going to say. So I have you make a check for that. Reese, is there anything you want to add on top?
I'll make him do it, goddamn it.
um, well, we technically do need him, right? Because he's also the one that messes with the stones.
And also, it would just be nice
So,
for him to not be cursed as a bunny forever.
yeah. So
Like
I'll
I'm
just
saying,
be like, he's the best guy we have to not only bring our offerings to you, but also so you guys can also make sure he's not doing anything else that's naughty twice a year. That's pretty good.
so one card?
Wait, no. So what was the last bit you did there? You said, Reese, that he would do what about being naughty? I didn't quite follow your reasoning.
That's it. So you can make sure he's not being naughty. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, because he will come back twice a year, is her point.
Oh, I see. So that they can check on him.
Yeah, and he'll be like, hello, here are your berries. And he'll be like,
And
ah, yes, good boy.
oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, that definitely appeals to them. If he's the one bringing them all the food, it's kind of like he's serving them. Yeah, that's great. You get an extra card for
Yeah.
that for sure. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I get you now. Yeah.
Good
Cool.
All right,
thinking.
good team.
Yeah. Nice. That's just kind of like a form of punishment. Ah. Boo. That's just a -1. What is your spirit? Is +1?
+1, yeah, +1.
Yeah. So that's total of 0. What is theirs? Okay. That is. Yeah, technically that's a failure. I have to go by the rules. Yeah, that's unfortunately
Go
that's
by the,
unlucky.
go by it. Go by it.
Yeah, that's unlucky.
Can I try?
You get an edge for your failure though, so you can take that. Let's take a card and put it face down. What was that you said, B?
Can I try?
Yeah, good try.
Alright, we hopefully take this one card and hope that it's good enough. What am I looking for? Oh,
Uh, what were you taking this card for?
I was wondering if I can try to
If you have another approach, sure.
yeah. You think it would be okay if I give them this vial of blue liquid I have?
You take it out.
Yeah, take it out. I
Uh,
also take out the mushroom I have left.
when you take out the vial, they kind of look at it curiously, and then they kind of ready their sticks kind of aggressively, and point it at you and say, "Where did you find that? Who did you hurt?"
We found it outside next to a dead person.
And then they all kind of like go a bit quiet for a second, and they say, it was an accident. We didn't mean to hurt her."
I told you guys we should have asked. I told you guys. Y'all said nah, that person's dead already.
Oh,
You didn't mean to hurt her.
oh, fuck. Okay, I have an angle, but I'm in a bush. Okay, so you're just gonna have to figure it out for yourselves.
I know the angle.
Okay, cool. Go for it.
You didn't mean to hurt her. I
Well,
asked them.
Yeah, so they kind of look, and they looked a bit solemn for a second, and they start giggling again, and they said, "Well, we didn't mean to kill her. We meant to hurt her a little bit, maybe, but not to kill her."
Well, you didn't mean to kill her, but you did. I think our companion has suffered enough in this body and should be released. It is only fair.
Only fair.
They took life. They took a life when they didn't mean to, and that has consequences for our kind.
Yeah, no, I completely get you. Riz, do you have anything to add on top of that?
She was our greatest protector of the village. Now she's gone.
Oh, right in the feels. Okay, sure. Yeah, that definitely helps. And yeah, so yeah, take one card for yourself, one card for Riz, adding that little point at the end there, and you can use your edge as well if you want to, but you have to decide beforehand. Too late. Cool. No, but you're good with this +2 here for you for spirits. Cool. Yeah, you hit them right in the feels. They kind of looked at each other again, and they kind of bicker and say, "Well, they say, well, yeah, we did turn him into a rabbit, and she did die. It kind of wasn't our fault, but maybe it was our fault a little bit." They've agreed to do the door. They're going to bring food as well, and the other one says, "Yeah, but she hurt us," and they're like, "Yeah, but we did kill her." And I was like, "Yeah."
And I add to it. Once he comes back to our village as a human, we will make sure he has his own punishment after our own fashion.
Jesus, poor Halen. Okay, sure. They kind of nod, and they cheer again. Whenever they agree on something, they seem to cheer. Um, they cheer, raise their sticks, and then they all wave their sticks around. And then Hayden's on the ground right now, right? He kind of transforms back and flops onto the ground. He's completely nude and seems to be extremely confused and disorientated. He's not really speaking anything. He's just kind of rolling around in the grass and in the swamp water, kind of like touching his face and his body. He is slight, dark-haired young man. You all know him.
Poor buddy.
Hey nerd, here's a cloak. I used that my last thing of supply, or just an extra cloak I had.
Sure.
And he does open his mouth to try to say something. I just give him a look like, don't say anything. We're good. We're golden.
Yeah, no, he's not saying nothing. He appears to be completely out of it. He takes the cloak and kind of wraps it around himself, and eventually he'll slowly make his way up to his feet. And he looks like he just huddles next to one of you. And he'll just follow you wherever you go.
Poor buddy.
I think we did
No
pretty good
sympathy
today.
at all.
Oh boy.
Okay, so we just skip the stone now, right?
Yes, that is what was agreed. Yeah, they will flutter away for a second behind one of the huts that you would have investigated if you hadn't seen the rabbit first. And they come back, each of them together holding this stone that appears somewhat heavy, but they can carry it amongst themselves. And it is, as Branwyn described, it's got intricate carvings carved into it, and it's only about as big, again, as your arm, I guess. And they hand it to Charlotte, I guess.
Yep, I'll take it.
And you can see this like dried and old, scratched away paint that's kind of weathered away inside the markings.
So we'll go and make sure that they get what we bargained for, and then we'll do the sealing.
Yeah. Okay.
We walk.
Walk back to the door.
Yeah. Did the Fae leave? Or are they still just like standing there looking at us?
They kind of like might wave goodbye to Charlotte and Riss. You can try and sneak away if you want to.
Yeah, I would like to sneak away. I'm tired of being
Yeah.
in this bush.
Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. You're stuck at the bush the whole scene.
It's my own fault.
Yeah.
I stayed in the bush. If I had come out immediately, it might not have been so bad. But like,
Yeah.
once you've been lurking on someone for long enough, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
longer
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
wait, the worse it gets.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so
Yeah. So you can use your edge if you want to.
I'm
That you
gonna
got.
use my edge because
Yeah.
I'm nervous. Okay,
Yeah.
so I
And
got 2 cards.
also, before you check, the
Yeah.
others know that you're hiding. If they think ahead, they could maybe try and, I don't know, distract the Fae. I don't know. That's up to them though, or if they just kind of forgot about you.
I'll help.
Mm.
Is there for me to use my edge on this?
Yeah, you could do that as well if you want to. But I'm saying if you just help, you'll give her an advantage. Like maybe try and draw their attention for a little bit, so she can sneak away. And then if you want to, you can give your edge as well. That's up to you.
I'll distract them by asking them what things have they tried and what things would they like me to bring and to see if I can accommodate. So I'll just like get them,
Talking.
like
Yeah.
get them talking like, what would you like? Do you want berries? Do you want,
Yeah. Cool. All right. Then
Yeah.
take an extra card. Then
Okay, so 3 cards.
3 cards, and
Oh
then
yeah. All right,
turn the wheel, and we're
got-
hoping for diamonds and reds.
Okay. Turning.
Cool. Yeah, you're good. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so you subtly sneak away, make your way just away from the huts, and kind of, I guess you take like a long way round kind of thing.
Yeah.
To at the doorway. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, they never knew you were there.
Nice.
Amazing.
You meet back at the doorway, which isn't that far from the huts, but they've kind of stayed there, and now they're talking amongst themselves. And you reconvene there.
Yeah, I go like, okay, we have him, we have the stone. Let's get the fuck
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
I'm just trying to be
Okay.
as low as possible.
Yeah.
All right. So we head out.
Yeah. You head through the doorway. There is no troubles. I assume you head back through the cavern back to where Branwyn was.
Yes.
Yeah. You leave the cave, and Caedoad Branwyn is there, and she sees you come out with Halen and the stone, and she's jubilant. She rushes towards you, helps Halen bring him back to the cart, and she's very curious and somewhat excited, and asks you what happened, what did you see, and then she will help you move the stone to the right spot, and then she'll take some paints out to begin painting it. But you can stop her if you want to.
Before you do that, I had to make a deal in order to get the stone back. Apparently,
Okay.
they companion. This is me telling her.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, something happened between Halen and the Fae in there. They agreed to give me back the stone if we were to provide them with berries, nuts, fruits, things to eat. What did you say was twice a year before they close the stone?
That
Uh,
that he would bring it there. Like it's
And
we close or we reclose the stone twice a year, and when Halen goes to reclose it, he has to bring them the food also.
so I would explain all of that to her.
yeah. And the reason why they said that is basically they're worried that you would start painting the stone more frequently now. Um, and basically they're kind of hoping that the door opens for a little bit twice a year, basically, and they get to do some come out for a bit, and then it gets closed again. So yeah, you tell Branwyn that you made this agreement with the Fae, and she says that you did the right thing. Um, and that she and the village will honor whatever agreement that you made. And then she goes back to the car and finds some of the more food that she has there, which does include fruits and berries. And she'll
Should we
place.
tell her that we know how Homegirl died?
Sorry, say that again, B.
Should we tell her how we know the other one died?
Oh, right. I don't know. Do you?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
Sure, that's fine. So she'll place the fruits and berries in front of the cave, as was mentioned, and then repaint the stone, and you guys can make your way back.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
say we do that.
Cool.
Yay!
Yay! The journey home is far easier than the one going to the cave. And after a 2-day ride, you do take a rest. Halen kind of begins to get his senses back, and then he'll tell you what happened. That they were ambushed on the road by a great giant, and then he doesn't remember anything else that happened, basically. Yep. And he doesn't know why he was being punished. He's not quite sure. Although Branwyn probably suspects it's just because he was the one tending to the stone.
Yeah. Yeah, I would guess the same as well.
That's an adventure for another day.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
And when you get back to the village, everyone comes outside to greet and cheer for you. And then Branwyn will bring the cart to the center of the village and tell everyone what it was that you did. How Charlotte ran through the giant to discover that it was an illusion. How Riss saved Branwyn when she was bleeding. How Varys managed to hide from Faye, and how you all dealt with the Morgan and survived the craziness of what happened inside that cave. And there'll be
Snaps.
celebrations and beer and food.
Snaps.
Yes!
Yay! We did it.
Team Venture.
Nice.
Oh God.
Nice, well done, guys. GG. It's funny because we got to the door and I was like, cool, they just have to speak to the Bubach now. We'll be done in 10 minutes. And then it took another 40 minutes, but that's okay. Everything always takes longer than you think. But I hope we didn't take time that you needed, but I
Oh
obviously had a
no.
bit of fun. So
No.
No, we're good.
Yeah, let's see. Like technically, streamers for Extra Life would have started a little while ago, but that's an optional thing that people can choose to do on their own if they want.
right.
So that's not really anything that needs our attention. And then the only other thing we've got on the agenda is Free Graces, which is at 10 p.m. Eastern Time and 4 a.m. Central European Time. So there's a while yet.
Cool. All right. Well, great, because I had fun. So thanks
Yeah.
for that and the extent.
Absolutely. Like I had a ton of fun too. This was really interesting.
Yep.
I liked it.
So do you have any questions about the game or about how characters would play out in the future or about the quest even? I'm happy to spill secrets if you're curious about things. This adventure that we just did will be in the book when it's released. So
Oh, sweet.
yeah.
You seem to have like a lot of response. Like, how many of those responses did we give? Did you already have like a plan for?
Pretty much all of them. Although the way that you were asking them, they were on topics that I have planned for, but the way you were asking them were a little bit more interesting than I thought out. So I'd actually take some notes to maybe embellish this slightly in places because this is going to the printers like next week. So I have like one day to make some changes based on what you guys did here. Yeah.
This seems like very you have a lot of freedom to be very RP heavy.
Mm-hmm.
It is very RP heavy to begin with, but like when it comes to dealing with the Fae and these kinds of mythical creatures, you really have to be like clever and think out of the box.
Yeah.
So that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
I will admit I did skip a combat scene. There is a scene when you find Seren's body. Wolves do try to come and claim it, and I skipped that for time's sake. And I made an assumption that maybe you weren't as interested in combat as per getting through the whole adventure, so I just skipped that one.
It is appreciated.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Um,
How long
what was that?
died? I want to know the actual reason why she died.
Oh, you want to know? So the chainmail that Varys picked up, it makes her more vulnerable to magic, and the Fae they attack with magic basically.
Okay.
So she just got more hurt, and that's why she didn't have any wounds on her either. She died from spells.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Basically, the little sticks that they hold, they can shoot magic from them. Basically, like wands.
Oh, I thought they were going to beat us with sticks.
They can do that too, but they're not as good as beating you with sticks as they are at shooting magic.
That would be really fucking funny though, just getting clubbed to death by a tiny stick.
Yeah. You can also get ones later on as well. And they can do that. So I'll tell you a little bit about combat in case you're curious. Like you have your armor that you said, and when you take damage, if it exceeds your armor, then you could become wounded. And then to avoid that, you would break your armor or break your shield or something like that you were using. But that does lend to situations where, for example, the Fae, if they were trying to physically hit you with the stick, they wouldn't be able to hurt you because your armor is too high because it's just a stick. If they critically succeed, then they can do double damage, and then that might hurt you. Or they can try and grapple with you, and then when you're grappling, you ignore armor, and you get to like hit with small items like daggers between armor. So you can jump on a dragon's back and try and stab between its scales and that kind of thing. Yeah, that's how that works.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
You say this is going to the printers next week?
Pretty much. I say going to printers. I mean, I'm sending it off to the printers to get it like checked, and then I'll get a proof come back, and then it'll be out for release in a few weeks. I'm waiting now eagerly for my layout guy to finish the layout of the book. He's on the second to last chapter. I'm so freaking excited. Then we send it to the printers. Then I get the proof, and then it goes out for release. And so yeah, it's real soon now. Yeah.
Oh man,
I
that's awesome.
I really would love to play this game with my friends. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
That's
I really like how it's sort of built in, like the freedom to just be like, oh well, if I can do this, then I can do this. Like, sure, you still have to do checks for it, but you're able to.
yeah, that was like
That's
the
the great thing
foundation
about
of the
it.
game. Yeah.
And I really like the fact that you use like playing cards
Hmm.
in order to make it a bit more understandable. Because dice, I'm still trying to understand that, but this was pretty good.
Yeah, and again, obviously, if we weren't playing online, we wouldn't be able to play together, but it's so much more fun in person when you have actual real deck of cards and you're passing cards around, and when you're helping each other, you're giving each other cards and you're flipping them over. Like flipping cards is just fun in and of itself.
Yeah.
And then and to what you said, Mal, like I wanted the raw game mechanic to be quite interactive with the world and the story, so that when you first start playing the game, I don't have to give you a million abilities for your character to make the game interesting. The game itself should be interesting for the beginning. So like you had one ability for your character, right?
Yeah.
You have your bot ability. You didn't even use it, but I'm hoping that the game itself is interesting enough that you don't have to worry about that, and it will come into play when it comes into play. Like if you weren't hiding, maybe you could have drawn the phase attention by singing a song and that kind of stuff. Like you can do that. The options there,
Yeah.
but your character's not defined by the abilities. Your play is how your character's defined, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's fun that you mentioned that, because I was considering doing something along those lines so many times while that whole talk was going on.
Mm.
But oh yeah, I don't think it would have gone very well.
And then I guess I'll tell you how your characters advance a little bit. So at the end of each quest, you gain a new feature. At the end of the first quest, you get to just raise one of your attributes by one. Every other quest, that's what happens. Then on your second quest, you gain a new ability. And then that's when you would choose whether you want to be a warrior, a rogue, or a mage, or a mystic. And that
That's
unlocks.
what I was gonna ask you.
Yeah. So then there are spell schools and martial schools that have the same kind of format as the profession, where they have three abilities that you learn in order. Um, Magic in this game is dangerous to use. You didn't use any of the spell scrolls. Maybe I should have prompted you more, but you didn't get into combat either or anything like that. And when you cast a spell, you decide. Uh, Magic it defaults to a single target that you must touch, but you can raise a spell's complexity to increase its range or to increase its scope. So you can affect a character that's across the room, or you can affect a whole space, or you can affect a whole space while avoiding your allies or avoiding enemies. And when you do that, it makes the spell more difficult to cast. But you can also cast spells together. You can work together to cast a spell as a ritual, and someone else can help you. So you can spend your whole turn casting a big fireball, for example. But if you fail, then you might get hurt by the magic. So yeah, you pick a class, mage, mystic, rogue, or warrior. That gives you access to certain schools. In fact, you can see them on your character sheets on the Google Drives. You'll see there's the warrior schools, reaver schools, mystic schools,
Yeah,
and mage school
Yeah.
tabs.
I was looking at those.
Yeah, and then when you reach level 5, you get to choose a legendary path, um, and that depends on what class you've picked. And some paths allow you to dual class. So, for example, if you were a mystic, the mystic's unique path is the druid, and that allows you to shape change and things like that. But you could also become a filly, and a filly is like the ultimate special magical bard. And if you become a filly, you also gain access to the mage schools. So you learn both mystic and mage magic then. And the fillies can cast magical songs, basically. Or if you're a mystic and you want to become a warrior, then you would become a swin picked. And that is like the traditional naked Celtic warrior that paints themselves with magical runes to protect themselves in battle. And they summon weapons that are made of magic instead of wielding real ones, for example. Or you could go from a mystic then to the reaver, which is like a roguelike character, and you become a Maleficus. They are mages that summon spirits from the other world and bind them to the foes and the allies and items to kind of manipulate their fate. And if you were a Reaver yourself, you could also follow that same path and also then become a mystic. So there's 10 paths. 4 of them are unique to one class, and then the other 6 kind of like dual class, basically. Yeah.
That's
And then
awesome.
there's one more thing as well. As you go through the game, your character's personality can change as well. And you can move the virtues and move the flaws around as you feel like your character has evolved if you want to. I think that's an important thing. Yeah.
That is actually really, really good.
Yeah, I love how it's not like locked and it's not. It doesn't seem as much as like oh yeah, you could multi-class if you wanted to, but more like there are organic paths to take, like a lot of different ones that you can go for.
Yeah, I really want to play this game. So I haven't played it yet. I made the game that I want to play, and no one's GM it for me yet, right? Because I've been
Oh
leaving
no.
yeah, I know. So I'm constantly training people up so that one day I can actually play my bloody game. It's so crazy that that's the way it is, but obviously it makes sense. You make the game and you don't get to play it. So
I
yeah.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully very soon after it's out, there will be people who will GM it for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. All right, cool.
I'm friends with a few GMs, so once it's out, I'll be like, let's do this. Let's do this.
So yeah, if you're interested, you can. The best place to follow is on. Well, that's the thing. I say best place, but Twitter is not the best place, really, is it? Because your announcements get lost in like the feed and things like that. So I'm not really sure where the best place is to follow me. I should figure that out. Really, I guess we have a mailing list. If you go to our website, which is legendsofavalen.co.uk, there's a mailing list you can sign up to at the bottom of that. And then we don't send out emails. We only send out emails when something's happening. So you'll get a guaranteed notification then when the game's released, or you can follow me on Twitter at Avallen Legends, or at Facebook, I think Legends of Avallen, or you can just Google Legends of Avallen. You'll find the website that way, or the Kickstarter. But yeah, I'll be promoting once the game's released, so hopefully you'll hear about it.
Yeah, so if anyone's interested in following, the Twitter link is in the comment section.
Oh, awesome! Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, Darren, thank you so much for coming on here and letting us play your game. This was a lot of fun.
No,
Yep, it
thank
was
you.
so
Thank you.
No, you guys were great. I love Ferris and Riss and Charlotte. So
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was very different from the other systems that I've played, and I look forward to trying it again sometime.
awesome. All right, take care, guys. Thanks for running a great convention.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
All right, bye.